Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Top Rope Renegades. This week in wrestling, we're on episode number 27. My name is Kurt. That is RK. From Bound for Glory, TNA to Halloween Havoc. We have so much to get into from the wrestling world. Fantastic weekly shows and 2 pay-per-views back-to-back that we got to watch, and check out the TikTok if you want to see the reactions from those matches. Other than that, RK, how are you doing? How are we feeling? What's up?
2 things. One,
Yep.
I am thoroughly enjoying wrestling again, and I can only attribute it to one thing, is that we're no longer watching AEW.
Okay.
So I think that has a lot to do with that.
Okay.
And 2, Air Gold on Twitter.
Oh, okay.
No clue who you are. Don't really care.
I do.
But there is not a single Hangman Adam Page match that is better than Austin versus Bret Hart. Okay?
Yeah,
I'm
agreed.
sorry.
I sent you that tweet. So that account, somebody tweeted something, and I was like, "What?" And I hit because I have that guy muted. I have muted so many AEW fanboys on Twitter because they irritate the shit out of me. But that one was fun. What do you got? You got something?
Sorry. I remember you were telling me how you got a job as a clown for kids' birthday parties, and you were telling me how you're having trouble removing the clown makeup afterwards. So I'm going to get on Twitter here after the show, and I'm going to ask Dave Meltzer for you on how he gets rid of his clown makeup. So that should help you.
All right. So RK is firing on all cylinders as we get ready to do episode 27. As you can see in the background, Halloween Havoc took place. We actually just got done watching Halloween Havoc, and then the night prior was TNA Bound for Glory. We will break down both of those shows. They'll be the last 2 shows we break down after, of course, the weekly shows and the news, which we're going to get to here in just a second. We got a lot to get into, so crack open a C4. Get ready to rock with us.
Not sponsored,
but I do like a good C4. But it's time to get into the news, the rumors, and the innuendo. Programming note for the show. Next week, officially, finally, the interview with my friend Kyle Wellsmania, Mega Mondo, whatever you want to call him. We're going to do it today, but with Halloween Havoc and timing, and if we did do the interview, I probably wouldn't have went to bed.
Hey, did he become 2-time world champion?
We'll find out. That match takes place this week, so we will find out if Mega Mondo was a 2-time world champion.
2-time?
Yeah, so if we would have done that interview tonight, I may have been up till 4 o'clock in the morning and I have to work the next day. But to be fair, Halloween Havoc was not that long of a pay-per-view.
Dude,
it was
it's
only
not
about
like
2
your
hours.
job matters.
I wish it didn't. I wish that this job was priority, but it's not. We're just having fun talking about wrestling as we continue. So I'm going to take a quick sip of C4.
Hey, but if you all hit that subscribe button, hit those like buttons, we can maybe do this professionally and just give you all the real good content.
And never forget, I will sign this and I will send it to you for the next, once we hit 100 subs, all the 100
subs.
You get that. Let's get into the headlines from the Top Rope Renegades newsletter. This is episode 27, as I said, week from October 21st to the 27th. Happy Halloween, by the way. We will not have an episode. We'll have an episode post-Halloween. So happy Halloween to those that celebrate. I think it's worldwide. Is Halloween worldwide?
Y'all need better school systems in America, man. I just cannot believe you just fucking asked that.
I don't know. Maybe some countries don't recognize Halloween.
Probably not, but I mean, generally, I would say almost wrong. Every country. Yeah, you are wrong. Okay. Yes. All basically, right, pretty much Halloween is Halloween.
You know what's not wrong? Our headlines. Some in WWE were unhappy with Carlito ad-libbing a line saying, "I've got to learn Chinese," after Io Sky and Kairi Sane walked off camera on Monday Night Raw. Reportedly, Io and Kairi don't have a problem with Carlito's ad-lib and saw it as him playing an idiot, and that was that. No reports of any reprimand for Carlito have come forth at this time.
Okay. Come on. It's not like he did this.
Sorry, man. Oh, y'all look alike. Watch out!
Like, if he had done that, maybe.
Yeah,
Come
I
on.
laughed. I thought it was funny. Clearly, Io and Kyrie didn't have an issue with it. And honestly, this is the problem that we have in our world today. We always have to be offended for somebody else, and somebody else normally doesn't even care about it. So it's just funny to me. But that's the world we live in.
Yeah,
Did
man.
you
No,
find anything wrong with it?
No, I laughed. I thought it was hilarious. It does come off of him just being an idiot and
Yeah.
no clue. Um, I'm sorry if you don't if you're offended by that, yeah, you should really rethink your choice in life because that was clearly a joke.
We live
Clearly a
in a
joke.
very soft ass world where everybody wants to get offended about everything.
You know, when we started this whole thing, me and Kurt were like that one time I brought up what's his face in that match that he against JD McDonough, and you're like, I don't even know if David Starr was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't even know if we can say his name. It's like, why the fuck not? We've come a long way, people. We honestly, we're not here to appease to everybody. We're here to appease to what we like,
Yeah.
and we like it. So you know what? If you're offended by it,
Mhm.
it's just kind of too damn bad.
Let us move to the next headline. Apparently, the secret plan for AEW, dating all the way back to April, was for Jon Moxley to become champion from Bryan Danielson, with Danielson winning from Swerve at All In, as happened. Bryan did not want to win the title, but Tony Khan convinced him because it would create a WrestleMania moment at Wembley Stadium. Oh, sorry, I read that wrong. All In moment from Bryan Danielson.
But
Yeah.
this is why it happened.
Yeah, I don't. I don't want to harp on AEW much more from All In, but I think my mentality leading into it was if Swerve's your guy and he's the guy you want to make, why are we putting the title on Danielson just for him to lose it in a couple
Because it was
months?
Tony. Tony wanted it.
And now
He
now we
wanted that
know.
moment.
Mhm.
Bryan didn't want it.
Yeah,
He could have cared less. He never went to AEW for the titles. He went there to wrestle so he could wrestle his dream matches that he wanted to. So he could go wrestle in New Japan. So he could go do what he wanted to do. The freedoms that WWE doesn't allow its talent to do. And that's fine. Every company's different. WWE holds on to its talent because it's their talent and they have the right to. AEW lets their talent do shows. That's fine. WWE is becoming more open to that idea. Vince had an archaic view on the system, and I mean, JD McDonough and Finn Balor were just in Ireland, in Dublin, did a wrestling show just last night. So,
did you see the finish of that match, by the way?
yes,
Whew.
I sent it to you. I
Yeah.
tagged you on Facebook in it.
Yeah, I know, but hey, we're doing a show where we're like trying to like interact back and forth, and like I know you saw it and I know you sent it to me and like tagged me in it, but like you're supposed to be like, oh yeah, I did see it. That was a great match. We'll work on it anyway. So let's
How the fuck would that make any sense? I tagged you in Facebook. You say you could be like, that was a cool finish. Like, yeah, not did you see it? Well, of course I fucking saw it. I sent it to you.
look. Sometimes you just got to go with it and just let it flow. You'll feel it out. We'll feel it out.
Well,
We're working here. We're trying to figure it
supposed
out.
to flow with it, then fucking make it make sense.
Yeah, you did tag me on Facebook. That finish was pretty cool. We'll see what's next for Finn Balor.
He's definitely sent me stuff, and then I'm like, "Hey, yo, did you see this?" And you're like,
Yeah,
"I
that happens.
sent that
Yeah,
to
it
you."
happens on both ends. It's like, yep, saw that on Twitter, or like we'll be in the middle of watching something like, did you see? Yep, saw that. I'm sure everybody in the internet wrestling community saw this one. That was Samantha Irvin on her Instagram announcing that she will be departing the WWE. Rumors, of course, went everywhere as to she quit that morning. She quit this. She came out. She said she quit like 3 months prior. She put in a 3 months notice, whatever. This headline does continue to read. The news came with shock to many fans. She will be definitely missed. Top Rope Renegades wishes her the best in her future. To the IWC, you all should be ashamed of yourselves. And why should they be ashamed, RK?
Oh man, there's so many. I've just handpicked a couple, but fuck man. Let's see here. One tweet back and forth. I can't say the name of the tweeter.
I know which one you're talking about.
Because there is one word that I won't even touch. So
it's the N word. Don't say the N word. Can't say the N word.
No, that is no. But
by
in
the way,
this case,
before you read it, how did he get that username? I feel like that would have been like
I was just quite.
banned.
I honestly, when I was saving the picture, I'm like, honestly, how does he still have that name on Twitter?
Was that still okay? Anyway.
Anyways, I guess he asked her some questions, and Samantha replied to him, "I don't like announcing." Then I guess he said something back to that, and she's like, "No, I'm serious. Announcing was only supposed to be my way in. I wanted to manage, maybe even become general manager one day, but WWE saw no other future for me besides announcer. I love watching the action, but I don't love being an announcer." And that's fair. She probably was promised one thing going in and it never materialized. That's how careers go. You adapt as you go through it.
Which is wild to
Another
me.
person.
Before you
Go
continue
ahead.
on, think about it. She's in the middle of like announcing. Now looking back on all these moments where she's had like great things, like in the back of your mind, now I'm like, so she didn't like enjoy that, like her moments announcing Cody, like she enjoyed it. Come on, but I see what she's saying.
But as a career, she's probably like
Yeah.
more.
So translation, maybe she shouldn't have done her job so well because they were
She
like,
did do a good
they were
job.
like, you're killing it. So you're
In the
staying
end,
right
you and I had the same conversation. All of these stupid tweets, which I'm going to get through here. But it's like, in the end, people, she's a ring announcer. Like, I don't turn on Raw for the ring announcer.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Yes, it adds an element to it, but Lillian Garcia's back and she's a legend. And if it was Mike Rome or it's Alicia Edwards,
I think Taylor, but
Alicia Taylor, sure. See, that's why I was
Alicia
going.
Edwards. Alicia Edwards is TNA. Alicia Edwards from
That's
TNA.
correct.
Yeah.
In the end, doesn't it really fucking matter who's calling the
Yeah.
names? That's not why we're watching wrestling. So I don't see the absolute outrage online over this over an announcer. I'm sorry. She was amazing. I'm forever going to miss her Chelsea Green introduction. But I'm sorry, she's an announcer. And in that same thought process, I understand her thought process. Like, I'm just a fucking announcer. What the hell am I doing? This is my career? No. So
all the best.
All to her. Another thing on Twitter, I'm just going through some of these. Somebody posted her untalented husband that did this, huh? And she replied with, "My husband is a millionaire, so yes, I don't have to do a job I don't like anymore."
You think
Like,
she's a millionaire?
Easy. Yeah.
Easy. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's the definition. I'm not going to backtrack to Bryan Danielson, but
I bet you, like for low end talent in WWE, I think their base salary is like $350,000. So Ricochet's above a low end talent, so he was probably making $1 million a year.
Yeah, and let's be honest, he left WWE to go have matches that he wants to have.
100%. Samantha Irvin just posted a tweet like 4 hours ago.
Oh.
She was at Collision last night, and she's like going, not everybody wants to do the grind in WWE. Some people want to do what they enjoy to do, and you don't need a ton of fans to do that. And I was at Collision, and all the fans were having fun, and it was a good show.
Okay.
More, man. After these, we're done on this, but man, the IWC, seriously, y'all need to like go outside, touch grass, do something, get a job. Which is funny that I'm saying that because we're here begging for you to give us subs so we don't have to go to our jobs. But
we're different.
We're not gonna. Yeah. Well, we're not really.
We'll go outside.
Yeah. Once in a while. I'd prefer not to most days though.
Interesting.
Fuck, man, I hate my job most days.
Dude, if this was a full-time job, I'd get in shape. You have no idea.
Oh, dude, why do you think Dave Meltzer's jacked? Because he's got nothing to do with his time.
Steroids.
Well, that too. Speaking of steroids, I don't have anything to add to that, so I don't know what.
We're talking about Samantha Irvin and tweets, so I don't know where speaking of steroids gets into this, but carry on with your tweet reading. Well, this week's mean tweets
is juiced. Fudge Wild on Twitter. I'm gonna say the names of most of these guys because honestly, if they catch wind of us talking shit about them, all the better. Come on, come at us. We'll call you an idiot to your face. Fudge Wild on Twitter. To Samantha Irvin. Have fun. This was before even anybody knew. They just all jumped to the conclusion that she was going to AEW. To Samantha Irvin. Have fun announcing half a crowd at AEW. Have fun with 633,000 viewers weekly. Have fun being irrelevant now. This should be tampering if you do go to AEW, but everyone says that only if talent goes to WWE. this guy can't even fucking spell, but nonetheless, he's basically saying have fun in AEW where nobody watches it, and it should be tampering, but that's only if talent runs to WWE. And then he's got a picture of Dominic Mysterio giving the two birds. So
shut up, you fucking Mark. Jesus Christ.
And then the dirt sheets. One day they're posting, Wrestle Pierce especially posts one day. They retweeted PW Insider saying that she quit 3 hours before Raw, and then she retweeted back to that going, no, it was months before Raw. And the next day, Wrestle Pierce said, no, they're on good terms. This has been planned for a year. It's just everybody just jumped the gun thinking that like can't people just chill?
Everyone always wants to be first in reporting too, by the way. They never want to be right. It's just if you're first. That's what.
Which is why I said to Kurt, I said to you earlier this week, it's like, thank God we do a weekly show because we'd be right with those fucking idiots.
Yeah, no.
Although you and I do, critically think. When I first heard the news, I'm like, fuck, I wonder what happened. Not, she's going to AEW.
Yeah, no, I didn't think she was going to AEW. And actually, to be honest here, my first reaction to you was, oh, she's probably going to try and take the singing career somewhere. That's what I thought.
Yeah,
maybe she is. Maybe I was right. Suck it, Dave Meltzer.
So yeah, right off the hop on the news, Twitter blew up. So here's a few more, and then I'm done with this. Zach Rossetti on Twitter, bro, if she turns up in AEW, I'm gonna cry.
Okay,
that's weird.
That's gonna make you cry.
Okay, cool. Eddie Renwich at Eddie7697. This is bullshit. I'm actually pissed that she's gone from WWE. Tony Khan truly is dog shit. Yeah, okay. Well, it wasn't Tony Khan, so good job jumping the gun there. One of many barbs at Kane Ricochet. Fuck you. I know this was your doing. All right, cool. So, Samantha can't think for herself, apparently. That's cool. Fade at Fadeaway Media. Samantha Irvin says farewell to Monday Night Raw, which LJ Knight replied to, have fun in all empty wrestling. All right, cool. She's not going there, but good call. Andrew at Andrew Snarks on Twitter. Strange how WWE talent keeps showing interest in pissing away their careers in the deserted warehouse of some dead t-shirt company. Well, one, AEW makes more money than you'll probably ever have in your entire life, Andrew. So congratulations on that one. And two, she's not really pissing away her career because she's actually advancing on her career in the areas of what she actually wants to do. If she had stayed in WWE, it sounds like she would have been pissing away her career. Mm-hmm. So continue to talk like you know what you're fucking talking about. So anybody, I just said all those names. Go back, re-listen to them. If it's any one of them is you, come at us. I don't care.
Yeah. Stupidity. Those are the WWE fans that I would like to say ruin things for everybody else because they're just stupid and annoying, and that is that. Well, moving on, it's time. We'll dive into all of the new news and rumors and whatnot that RK is going to bring us. But before we do that, it's time to unveil the ratings. Here's the ratings from the past week. SmackDown did a 1.378 mil. They were down 17%. Raw up 3% at a 1.578 mil. NXT up 10% with 702,000. Let's switch things over to AEW. Rampage down 8%, 234,000. Collision though up 29%, the biggest gain of the week at 346,000. And AEW Dynamite up 1% to 637,000. NXT viewership beating AEW Dynamite again was a talking point on the internet. That is 4 weeks in a row, but the argument now being made apparently is that demos matter.
You can bring that up. Before you bring that up, I'll leave that one to you. But there is one thing I want to say to that is Dave Meltzer, the perpetual excuse boy for AEW.
Yeah.
Apparently now CNN and Fox were way above usual numbers, and that's why AEW Dynamite was down in numbers because of the news.
Yeah. And NBA basketball too, even though NBA also debuted
debuted on Tuesday night, and NXT pulled in more people than they did the week before.
Yeah.
It's almost
So-
like they tease something and people want to see what's going on next week.
Yeah. Let's just talk. So the demo, we do talk about the demo sometimes, not in that graphic. But I think the NXT was 0.16, AW's was a 0.19.
Yes, that's correct.
So, but the demo, they beat him in the demo. April 12th, 2019 at 12:52 in the morning, Dave Meltzer tweeted in a response to someone saying, according to this, SmackDown was 4th for the night, not 7th, unless I heard you wrong last night. Dave Meltzer's reply was, ratings are by viewers, not one demo. I made that clear last night. October 25th, 2024, just a few days ago at 6:52 in the morning, Dave Meltzer was asked, are ratings by viewers or demo? And his reply was, demo. So which one is it, Dave?
Let me get this straight. Before AEW, it was by viewers. But after AEW debuted, it's by demo.
AEW was AEW not around on April 12th, 2019? You sure?
They just did 5 years like a couple months ago, last couple weeks ago. The 5-year anniversary of Dynamite was like 5-6 weeks ago.
I just want to make sure we're not messing up. The promotion was founded on January 1st, 2019. AEW launched their flagship weekly television series Dynamite on October 2nd. So yeah,
there you go.
So you are correct. Interesting.
So it's weird how the narrative changed after AEW started up.
Yeah, your pockets are lined, you piece of shit. That's all I have to say.
3%, Dave. 3%.
There's the ratings, and you're gonna have a lot of news. But I know you're probably gonna maybe have this, but since we're already harping on Dave Meltzer, do you have the story about Kevin Owens' contract and Dave Meltzer in your news? I will let you take it from there, and you do your thing. I'll sit back and enjoy the news.
I might as well. I didn't have enough spots on the main page because this was one of them. I wanted to headline with Meltzer punked, but I like these headlines better. Anyways, WWE has been accused of spreading misinformation to discredit Dave Meltzer. It reportedly concerns Kevin Owens' WWE contract status, with claims being made that WWE are using the situation to discredit Meltzer. From Voices of Wrestling, I got tipped off last week that Kevin Owens has been signed for months, but WWE isn't leaking that to their media. They want to report that. They're waiting it out because they want Meltzer. I honestly don't think people even listen and type properly because there's no way a person talks like this, but I'm just going to keep reading this.
Yeah.
Honestly, seriously, if you're like, I go over my news and I double check my, like, to see, does that make sense how I'm typing it? Like,
yeah.
Did any of y'all take English in fucking high school? Come on. Anyways, sorry. I can't stand bad grammar. It drives me insane. I am literally the grammar police. I have a badge. I'll show it to you one day. Anyways, they're waiting it out because they want Meltzer to start opinionating or suggesting that AEW could get in the mix and maybe sign him, because then they'll leak out that Owens is. This is horrible. I'm sorry, I can't read this fully. Anyways, long story short, the WWE leaked to Dave Meltzer through his sources, which I really don't think he has any value unless they're literally just punking him all the time. That Kevin Owens wasn't re-signed, and they wanted him to maybe leak out that AEW was close to signing him or something, and then they'd go, "Oh, we signed Kevin Owens months ago."
Honestly, it's kind of funny to me. That's a big fuck you, Meltzer. You think you're right all the time? Watch this. I think it's hilarious. And I love the fact that the report said they're not leaking it to their sources so the sources can leak it to all the dirt sheets. Why would they want anything to leak? I'm trying to figure out who these leaks are.
I don't think they truly exist. I think they just they say something and put the caveat on it that things could change.
Look, I'm
not for sure
Meltzer's AEW stories being right because he's in
3%. He's on the board of directors.
Who the fuck is leaking shit from the WWE? Why would you leak shit from the WWE? You know, I mean, Dijak was, but
Yeah, look how well that turned out for him.
But yeah, fuck Dave Meltzer. That's all I got.
So honestly, yeah, these leaks, I honestly don't really call them leaks. They're probably planted by WWE because they want the news out.
Yep.
Okay, news. NXT at the 2300 building in Philadelphia for November 6th it sold out in just under 30 minutes.
Yeah. They're making some seats available like recently just to sell more. That's the day after the election. It's a Wednesday head-to-head with Dynamite, and they sold out in 30 minutes. Yeah. I'm intrigued for that ratings.
You know, a lot of the let me play devil's advocate. CCW Arena, a wrestling show there, like WWE, NXT is showing up. It's gonna sell out. It's a wrestling community.
Oh yeah.
ECW Arena is infamous.
Oh yeah.
So, anyways, nonetheless, it's not a shock that it sold out that quickly, but the fact that a developmental program can sell it like that, and Collision is having absolutely atrocious times trying to sell tickets, which I'll bring up in a news report here shortly.
Collision. Okay.
Absolutely atrocious. This past yesterday's episode, apparently the tickets sold like shit. Nonetheless, just cool to see that. And classic venue. I hope we saw Tease this night, but I mean,
yeah,
Bubba's going to be there. I hope
ECW.
every match we've got at least one hardcore match, but I imagine we're going to have more than one hardcore match.
Hopefully by then Paul Heyman's making appearances on TV again, and he can have an appearance there. That'd be pretty sick. Just the ECW originals.
Oh, I think it's possible because Crown Jewel's up this weekend, and I can't see Paul not appearing somehow.
Yeah.
Or the Bloodline. But no, Jay can't go to fucking Saudi. Or can he?
How can't he?
I thought he couldn't.
He went to Canada
because of his record. Yeah, but Saudi's way different.
Well, I understand Saudi's way different, but I don't know.
I don't know.
Nobody from the Bloodline's announced for Saudi.
No. Anyways, I just can't imagine Paul's not popping up here eventually, shortly.
Let's be honest. But carry on.
Yeah, Crown Jewel's gonna. I'm gonna come out right now. I'm gonna say it's not gonna be that great of a show.
I'm not really looking forward to it. I am looking forward to Randy Orton, Kevin Owens. We'll get into that later. But
yeah,
other than that, I mean, Cody Gunther will probably be.
It's a throwaway. It's a throwaway show.
It's a throwaway show.
Only story that's really going to advance is Kevin, Cody, Randy. Really.
Yeah.
Unless Tiffany catches in, then maybe
happen.
It becomes something.
I think that happens, but we'll see.
Oh yeah. So if we were still watching AEW, I've finally figured it out why we didn't understand what was going on. You have to follow Tony on Twitter because he will tell you the stories there.
Yeah.
Instead of on the show.
You don't say.
So they posted the Collision match that was coming up between the new faction, La Faction Ingob or LFI. That whole Ingobernable fucking shit. Versus FTR. Pardon?
Who's in this group? Is that Roosh?
That's Roosh and Drolistico. What are we timing out about?
What happened to Roosh and the Don Callis family?
Oh, he got traded, didn't he?
No.
We don't watch. I don't know what's going on.
I thought that was like Lance Archer. I don't know. Carry on. I don't know.
Anyways, Lance Archer, you mean Timu Drew McIntyre? Anyways, they announced that match on Collision, and Buddy posted on Twitter, banner match, but why the hell are they fighting? And Tony's like, the answer to your question is in my tweet, friend. Cool. We got to follow Tony to understand what the fuck's going on Collision and Dynamite and shit. So that's an interesting approach to storytelling, honestly.
To each their own. I'm okay.
No matter what we do, we're never going to escape the clutches of AEW. And honestly, I hope we can go back to watching it one day. But right now, I'm actually way more excited to watch TNA than AEW.
Yeah.
All right, on to the news. Sports Business Journal notes WWE and Netflix are still in talks over Monday Night Raw's runtime come January. reports are that it's going to be closer to 3 hours than 2 hours, but because of the platform it's on, being Netflix, is they're going to have a lot of flexibility to pretty much, have whatever run times they want. So if they want to cut early or go late, they can. They're not really tied to any. They're it's streaming. Like
Right.
they could go for 4 hours if they felt like it. It would all depend on money and everything, the amount of paid. Obviously, don't want to give too much for not enough money, but blah blah blah. I don't know anything about that business, but it's Netflix. Like they could literally run a 10-hour show, and I don't think it really would matter, would it?
Mhm.
What are you so confused by?
I don't like this news that just came across my
Then fucking say it instead of looking all confused and not listening to me like you always fucking do.
So some news just came across my desk, and
Yeah, what?
I don't. One, I'm not a big fan of spoilers, but I clicked it because we aren't watching TNA. They have already recorded a couple episodes, but El Hijo del Vikingo, who put on an absolute fucking banger with Mike Bailey at Bound for Glory,
Yeah.
had a match with Trent Seven, and it ended early due to an apparent injury to Vikingo.
Yeah, well, he just came back off injury, and he shouldn't be doing the shit that he always does until he's 100%.
Go check out the TikTok. You can go see our reaction to an insane spot from Vikingo and Mike Bailey. Yeah, man, I hope he's not like severely hurt. That sucks because we know how good he is, but damn.
All right, cool. You gonna lock in and listen to me?
I am listening.
No, you not at all. Because I said Netflix and Monday Night Raw's runtime 18 different times, 20 different ways, trying to get your opinion on it, and I just kept saying it over and over again.
And I heard everything you said.
And not a yes or huh.
I think it's up for speculation.
Okay, cool. Good help. The West Australian says, I'm assuming that's a news report of something in Australia, but the West Australian says WWE is targeting a return to Perth in 2025. Why the hell not? Elimination Chamber went off without a hitch, so
yeah,
I can definitely see them going back.
What pay-per-view?
Chiming in after last week's conflicting reports about Brock Lesnar and WWE, PW Insider Elite says there have been zero discussions between Lesnar and the company. Brock remains off the board, and any references to him from wrestlers or commentary are just to accentuate the current stories, nothing more. I call bullshit. I call that the WWE going, no, we want everybody not to think he's coming back.
I raised the question because it was on the internet too. Does the WWE actually need him?
No.
The answer is no. Will it be
but
cool to see him match up against some of the guys? Yeah. I mean,
Brock Lesnar's a draw regardless.
Him and Gunther would be fan. Gunther wanted Lesnar. I think if Lesnar's name didn't pop up in the Janelle Grant stuff, we had Gunther versus Brock Lesnar in the makings for the IC title at WrestleMania. Instead, we got a great match from Sammy and Gunther, but Gunther and Brock Lesnar would have been awesome too. And Cena's final run's coming up. I feel like him and Brock maybe should one more time. Maybe.
Yeah. So. Anything Brock, honestly. I wasn't watching wrestling during Brock's actual run in the company, so I never got to see his dominance.
It was real. It was real.
One of my favorite matches over the past 5 years was him and Roman at WrestleMania at SummerSlam. One of my favorite matches over the past 5 years.
Was that when he lifted up the ring with the?
Yeah.
Okay. I think the match that sticks out with me of Brock Lesnar is I know the shooting star went south and Brock should have died because the way he landed. That match was insane. The storytelling and the fact of how they did that match and even finished it after an insane shooting star press was crazy. But anyway, I don't know. I think I'll ask one more question regarding Brock Lesnar. Does he show back up in WWE from now till let's just say a year from now? That time, yeah, I think so too.
Honestly, I think he needed another John Cena Brock Lesnar match as well. So.
Yeah, John Cena needs to do greatest hit matches. We need Brock. We need AJ Styles. We need Randy Orton. We need Edge. We need Sheamus. Cena and Sheamus had a good rivalry going for a little bit. And obviously Roman, need that face off. And then Punk, and then Cody, and then I can go down the list. Gunther, Jay, Jimmy. I mean, LA Knight. That could be something. Solo again. He's got a Solo beat him at Mania. I'm going down the list. We're gonna get into that next week when we talk to Kyle about who we think Cena should go up against. But yeah, I'm excited. WWE's on fire still. People, it's cooled off. It hasn't cooled off. It's on fire. WWE is.
It's in a relatively slow period though right now, just because Crown Jewel is not a pay-per-view to build for.
Right, but
it's
after
not
Crown
a pay-per-view to build for. What the fuck are you gonna build for at Crown Jewel?
Boom.
Nothing.
Survivor Series wide open. So
yeah.
What's next?
PW's insiders heard talk that The Undertaker will be at the WWE Performance Center in Orlando next week, possibly for an appearance on the October 30th NXT.
Is that just because of Halloween?
Probably.
Just the spookiness of the Undertaker?
Yeah. Also, just the Undertaker doing Undertaker stuff.
He's going to come out and tell you to vote.
Probably.
I'm so serious. He may. Because
no, because WWE doesn't want to come off as a political party. Big businesses cannot align themselves with one side or another. Their own personal individuals can, but a company itself cannot.
I didn't say to,
because the fickleness of people would be like, oh, I'm not watching that.
I didn't say to come out and support a Republican or Democrat. I came to tell people to vote. Now it's Undertaker, and he did just do it
again.
with Donald Trump,
it's a wrestling company, and they're not really a company that should be saying that.
Yeah, I don't know. I just know that next week and then the week after is when they're on Wednesday. So
I say, well, I think I said it during. I might have said, I don't know. Anyways, you should vote. You don't have the right to bitch about what's going on in your country if you don't vote. That's my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
Fightful select some. Nope, we already talked about that. Wrestling Observer Live says that Donald Trump appearing on Undertaker's podcast was something a lot of folks within WWE disagreed with, but no one within the company are upset over it, and there are no issues with the Undertaker because of it. And again, that goes back to if you're allowed to believe what you want to believe, you can disagree with it. I don't, but in the end, why would you be upset over it? It's the Undertaker's podcast. He's doing what he does. Yeah, do you? This is interesting because
and it's the Undertaker. Undertaker can do what the fuck he wants.
Yeah. I sent this to you earlier this week. I already saw the results from next week's SmackDown by accident, but I didn't mean to.
Full results. I saw like little.
I don't remember what the match results were because I really just looked at it, but I did notice that. So it was reported earlier this week that Shinsuke Nakamura is expected to be at the SmackDown tapings in Brooklyn. They did the double taping 2 nights ago. Mm-hmm. He was not on this SmackDown, and he's not on any of the cards matches next week either. That doesn't necessarily mean he doesn't show up, but he's just not in a match. So, but apparently he was in Brooklyn. So nonetheless, Powerhouse Hobbs has been seen in Salt Lake City, fueling speculation he could be returning to AEW television on Dynamite this week.
Okay. Seeing him in person, that's a big boy.
See, I've heard, no, not him. Brian Cage apparently is involved. Actually,
him too.
Well, maybe to you.
What do you mean?
Because you're a tiny little man.
I'm literally not.
Well, you're probably like what, 5'4"?
Brother, I am 6 foot.
6 foot long. I won't go there.
Continue with your news.
On with the news. I love this. PW Insider on TNA. They also say Bound for Glory is expected to be the highest grossing live event in 2024 for the company, as well as their highest paid ticket total for the States this calendar year. So Bound for Glory all around a success for TNA.
It was. I think they announced it on the broadcast. Yeah.
All around success for the company. TNA has been on fire this year. So, and watching it, it's like, actually, I kind of want to watch it. So, interesting. During their latest Backstage Pass podcast with Bill Apter, WrestleVotes was asked to comment on speculation that Goldberg could interfere with the Cody Rhodes-Gunther match at Crown Jewel. WrestleVotes said that WWE WrestleVotes says that WWE does have future plans for Goldberg, but they don't know for sure what those plans are. Yeah, so Goldberg's coming. He's coming back for one more. He
No,
is.
please stop. Just stop. That dude is the most overrated professional wrestler. He's gonna get you a pop, but no, don't. Please don't. Just don't.
Yeah, just like Trick. On the same podcast, Votes said that I'm kidding. Calm down.
I said fair.
On the same podcast, Votes said that they don't think WWE currently has any plans to split up A-Town Down Under. Austin Theory and Grayson Waller are going to remain together until there's something substantial for either one of them. Yeah, obviously that makes sense. They're good tag team together.
Yeah,
I do like the little back and forths that they have. They're funny. In the end, I've turned a complete 180 on Austin Theory. I think that dude is legit.
yeah.
He's gonna have a bright future. And Grayson Waller, I've liked from day one. That dude is
Natural heel.
a natural heel. He's so good. NXT officials were reportedly very upset that Tuesday's episode ended before Zaria's debut in several markets, per Fightful Select. WWE knew that they had a hard out at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, but not that several affiliates were operating on 20-second delay, which led to the show being cut off in those coverage areas. One Fightful source said everyone who runs or has a say in the show was pissed.
Yeah, we kind of got
We
it.
got it.
Was...
We got it. We got her appearance, but it did cut off when Julia and Stephanie were in the ring going, the fuck?
Okay. Yeah, we got it, but it was very rushed.
Apparently some markets you didn't get it at all.
Yeah, it was rushed. We could tell.
Well, yeah, because they knew their hard cutoff time. But
I mean, it was, oh my God, she's here.
Yeah, apparently some areas didn't even get that.
Oh.
That's something they're going to have to work out with CW, I think, or they just got to time better.
They got to time better. CW's set on their ways.
Giovanni Vinci came up on a Fightful Select Q&A show. Sean Ross Sapp said Vinci isn't in the doghouse, but he hasn't heard of any major plans for the former Imperium member. Sapp added that WWE didn't have significant plans for him anyways. I still think Ludwig sandbagged him, honestly.
Okay.
God, don't talk to Tiffy, man. All right, so this I had to look into the Rainbow scandal. Have you heard anything about this?
Yeah.
So regarding the Rainbow scandal lawsuit that was filed this week against WWE, Vince and Linda McMahon and TKO Group Holdings, F4W Online's Dave Meltzer said there's no way this one's going to court. It's going to be settled out of court, and it's just a question of how much it's settled for and how many victims end up coming forward. So this goes to a Rain. I looked it up while we were watching this, while we were setting up here, and Melvin. Let me just pull it up here again.
And while you look that up, I think this stems from the Netflix documentary coming out. I assume it had anything. I would assume it had something to do with it, because there was the Ring Boy thing that was brought up in the Vince McMahon documentary on Netflix.
It was, yeah.
So
apparently 5 people have come forward, not named. It goes back to allegations of sexual abuse they suffered from Melvin Phillips. He passed away in 2012.
Was he the one in the documentary that they said they fired?
Yes.
And that they kept.
So they kept Pat Patterson on because Pat Patterson was named in it originally. And everybody said there's no way that Pat would have been involved in that.
Yeah.
There's so many rumors, allegations. Nothing has been proven in court. So really they are allegations until they are proven in courts.
I have always been, and I will be, a firm believer of the innocent until proven guilty thing. If it's proven in a court, then yeah. But if it's not, it leaves grounds for speculation and opinions. And he said, she said. So
Yeah, pretty much until it's proven. I mean, you can speculate all you want, but nothing has been proven. So if it's settled out of court, yeah, some may point that towards the guilty of the party and they're just wanting to be washed away. But maybe they just don't want to go through the battle of proving it's wrong. They just want it gone. And sometimes that's the case. You can't say that every time something's settled out of court, it's not because one party's guilty or not. It's because they don't want to deal with it.
Yep.
Sometimes you can be innocent and not want to deal with it. That's not out of the realm of possibility. If you have the money to make something go away, even though you can fight it and prove you're innocent, why? If you have the money to make it go away, why bother? Not saying it's true or not saying it's not true. Just don't know. It's just allegations at this point. Same thing against McMahon. It doesn't look good for him. He has a bad history, but nothing's been proven yet in court. So until it's that point, you can have all the thoughts you wanted in the world, but it is what it is. Although it doesn't look good for him. I lost myself. Giovanni Vinci was the last one. Green Boy scandal went through that. Okay, good. PW Insider says there have been some whispers and comments that women wrestlers are now getting paid at the same level as the men in WWE's most recent contract signings, as they should.
Yep.
The women are absolutely on fire in the WWE. Rhea Ripley, if not, I would imagine with her most recent contract, she's easily in the top 10 of all wrestlers getting paid in that company. I would not be surprised if she's up there in the top 5 or near the top 5.
As she should be. As she should be. And it's deserving. If you look at all the women in WWE, and I'm including NXT in this, we say it every week, the NXT women's division is the best, I think, in professional wrestling. And yeah,
it was the best before they got Julia, Stephanie Vercur, and Zarya.
Yeah, now it's like, oh shit. And then they get, and like we've, just to talk about, even Cord Jade back from injury, Nikita Lyons back from injury. That's a lot of women that just, boom, back in the fold. That women's division's on fire. And then you go to the main roster. You have a Rhea Ripley. You have a Bianca Belair. Io Sky. I think Io Sky doesn't get as much love as she should get. Not from.
No, I think she does. It's just not as vocal as the other ones.
And you gotta think if Becky Lynch does come back.
No, she's going to AEW, dog.
Oh yeah, but when she comes back to WWE, I'm not gonna play into your jokes for a second here. I'm gonna be serious. When Becky Lynch comes back to WWE, you have to assume that she's gonna get paid just as much as Rhea Ripley, if not less. Maybe, I don't know. I'd assume probably the same.
I say Rhea Ripley's the highest paid woman in wrestling right now.
Yeah, she
outside of Mercedes Moné, because
well,
she's overpaid.
Different. There was something, you're not going to have this in your news, and if you do, then my bad. But there was a tweet that went out by somebody on the internet on Twitter X that said, "I miss Sasha Banks so much," and people were tearing this tweet apart. They were like, it was like a video from Sasha and WWE, and they're like, "Well, you just got to flip on Wednesdays and tune into Dynamite and see her."
It's not Sasha,
and that's what finally people were like. There's a difference between the characters. There is. I said it when we were watching AEW. I was like, man, I really miss Sasha Banks because I'm not a fan of Mercedes Moné. But yeah, sorry, I had to bring that up because it just crossed my mind. But yeah, she probably is the highest paid women's wrestler in the world, right?
I think.
I
don't know.
So.
When she got signed, I think the rumors was $10 million a year.
That's probably the highest paid. Damn. She ain't worth that. I'm sorry.
Honestly, I don't think there's a single wrestler. Honestly, I don't think there's a single wrestler in the business that's worth that much.
You get one. Who's the one?
Who's the one right now?
Yep. There's one wrestler. You have 10 million, and you get to give it to one wrestler. Who are you giving that 10 mil to?
Based on draw, ability to consistently perform without getting injured, all that kind of stuff. If you want to, get the best bang for your buck for 10 million, Cody Rhodes at the moment, honestly.
I was gonna say Cody. I want to say Kenny Omega. Cody.
Who knows if he comes back and can wrestle regularly?
I think if it's Kenny Omega, he's going to do everything he can.
Oh, 100%. But I'm just saying his body might not allow him to.
If he can't, he can't. Yeah, I agree. If there's one wrestler right now that's worth that, worth is in quotes, but 10 mil, here you go. Here's 10 mil. Here's a $10 million bonus for everything you've done for professional wrestling this year. Cody Rhodes is the guy. I mean, he shows up every week, moves merch like nobody else. That's how I feel about it. Carry on.
I don't know. I feel like wrestling should be based off those numbers as well. I'm not a wrestling guy, and yeah, they deserve the contracts, but I feel like they should be paid a little less in their yearly contracts. Like not a lot less, but like 5-6 million, whatever. And then they make the rest off their money. Can you move merch? Give them a bigger cut of the merch and then pay them less, and it all balances out. If they can't move merch, they make less money. So make them have incentive to move merch. I don't know. I'm not a wrestling guy. I'll probably get torn to shreds for saying that, but whatever.
Wow.
If you're a draw,
L take, bro. L take.
If you're a draw and you can move money, you can make money for the company, you get more money. If you can't make more money for a company, you get your base salary. You're still making money, but you shouldn't be getting, $13 million a year, but you only show up for 7 shows a year and you sell some merch. And yes, I am talking about Roman Reigns. I'm sorry.
Okay, no, you're wrong. You're wrong.
Nope.
In the amount of merch, you're right.
Merch. I know, but I'm saying the amount of merch he moves, pay that man $8 million a year and give him a bigger cut of the merch.
Because he moves merch. People
100%.
eat that Roman merch.
So
up.
you balance his, make him more incentive. But nonetheless, I don't know. He's on TV every day, so Cody Rhodes is.
Yeah. Carry on.
No rehearsal, people. We just say whatever we want to say.
Well, we did this last week with the 5-star matches. I don't have anything fun planned for this one, but there you go.
Yeah, no. Kurt only comes up with one good idea a year. According to WrestleVotes Radio, even though it's originally sounded like WWE's Elimination Chamber 2025 event was coming to the United Kingdom, it will now take place in Toronto in March. The UK will host a bigger PLE sometime down the line. So it has been confirmed that it is in Toronto this upcoming year.
That's cool.
100%. It is cool. Canada, hotbed for wrestling.
Oh, yeah. I mean, some of the best wrestlers right now are Canadian.
Yes, they are. Jericho, Omega.
Okay. Fuck you for leading with Jericho. I love Chris Jericho. You went with 2 dudes. Jericho can't go anymore. I'm sorry. And Kenny Omega isn't even on TV right now. You could have went with way better answers there. Ethan Page. That would have gave you that one. Who else is Canadian? Carmen Petrovich. Sorry, big fan of Carmen.
Carmen, Ariana.
Ariana is Canadian, isn't she?
She is. Chelsea Green.
Yep. No, she's not Canadian. We get her. She's an American citizen. She chose to be an American citizen. She chose that life.
Not how that works. She has dual citizenship. She was born in Canada, you moron.
USA.
WWE Creative has brought up the idea of booking an intergender match between Rhea Ripley and Dominic Mysterio. There is a real desire for the match to happen while the angle is hot, although it's not clear how high up the chain the pitch has been made. I've heard polarizing comments on the internet, one way or the other. All the people that say that you don't want this match to happen, fuck that. I want this match to happen.
Yeah, I saw somebody that was like, oh, the second that Dom smacks or hits Rhea, like, okay, and then Rhea grew and Dom can get
I feel like in real life, Rhea Ripley could beat the shit out of Dominic Mysterio. So
do the intergender match. If Dom does get any moves in it, it's probably like a Hurricane Rana, maybe. Something like that. But in reality, the whole match should be Rhea just beating.
Why does it fucking matter? You'll watch British wrestling, the Indies. There's women on men wrestling matches all the time. In the Indies, it happens all the time. I was at an Indies show earlier this year, and there was intergender matches, and there were full-on matches.
Oh, I'm not saying they shouldn't do it.
Why the fuck does it matter? It's
for
wrestling. It's not even
whatever.
real. Remember, people, not real. You watch movies where a dude beat up women and shit, like in like karate scenes. You ever see that fucking like a karate movie where the chick is in a karate match with a dude and just beats the living shit out of him? You don't get all up in arms about that. So it's not fucking real, people. You guys, this is your argument against everything anyways. Wrestling's not real.
True.
You ever seen Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon? That bitch destroys motherfuckers.
Fair enough. Carry on with your news. Do the match.
Fightful Select spoke with several NXT sources who were surprised that WWE booked the old ECW arena for its November 6th head-to-head battle against AEW Dynamite. Some NXT people did hear about the idea, but thought it was too far out there to actually happen.
They're doing it, and they sold it out.
Yeah.
So let's go.
During a Sign It live session for High Spots this week, AEW star Julia Hart indicated that she's ready to return from injury.
Good.
Hart said she's just waiting for the call.
Good.
Yeah, hopefully they give her that call, though.
They will to Rampage.
Well, unless Mercedes Hogan has something to say about it.
Well, the House of Black is also back, too. So Julia, I read that.
Maybe. We'll see. We're not even watching it. I don't even know. Maybe they came back this past week. I don't know.
I saw the call. They did.
Wrestling Observer Radio's Brian Alvarez noted that this Saturday's AEW Collision, as in yesterday's event in Cedar Rapids, Iowa, is doing, and his quote is, atrocious ticket sales. He reported something bad about AEW.
Yeah, I know. That woke me up. Interesting. Well, Brian reported that. Dave didn't report that. There's a difference.
No, Dave, because Dave's 3%. That's right. 3% Dave Meltzer. I think that's his name now. 3% Dave Meltzer. Actually, with that Twitter account for Top Rope Renegades I'm going to create, I'm going to ask him about the clown makeup because you need to know that for your job coming up. Yeah. And I'm going to just everything he posts, I'm just going to reply with 3% Dave.
You're going to get blocked so fast.
3% Dave.
Yeah, all right.
If you don't know what I'm talking about, people, is the rumors are apparently Dave Meltzer owns 3% of AEW. So,
as a big defender denied.
Yeah, weird. You think he'd adamantly deny that if it wasn't true, right? But I don't think he's ever adamantly denied it.
Nope.
Interesting. We already talked about that. F4W's online Dave Meltzer was told that Cody Rhodes versus Kevin Owens and Gunther versus Damian Priest are both currently slated, but not etched in stone for the return of Saturday night's main event. I love how he states things because he always leaves himself an out.
Yeah. Why? Why are you reporting something that is happening in like 2 months?
Oh, just get ahead of the game. You want to be that first guy to report it.
Right. And then you can go back and say, I reported it first. No, Dave, you said maybe. You fucking idiot.
You did say, well, I reported it. I said maybe it could change, but
and
it
didn't change,
so I reported it.
Well, I said maybe. Fuck off.
Yeah. Anyways, for whatever it's worth, Meltzer, I love how that was led in for whatever it's worth because it's about Meltzer.
Maybe
but for whatever it's worth.
Sorry, I'm pissed.
For whatever it's worth, Meltzer believes that the current storyline of Jon Moxley's war against AEW is building towards the Elite joining the face side down the line.
What?
How the fuck do they get there with that?
Move on. I don't want to talk about that. Move on.
Daniel Garcia told Uprock Sports that a lot of the rumors about locker room turmoil in AEW over the last couple of years are very true. However, there's been a really good upswing of positivity during the previous year. Per the Observer, the reason why MJF isn't returning to the ring until next month's AEW Full Gear pay-per-view, and that is due to a clip that happened this week on Dynamite where he said that Adam Cole or Roderick Strong, whoever wins 3 matches in a row first, gets his match against him at Full Gear, and he won't show up until Full Gear until that is confirmed who he's facing. That is just all story because he is still filming reshoots for Happy Gilmore 2.
cool.
How much do you think we could play the Ethan Page music video on here? Because he posted it on Twitter.
Maybe.
Because it's all on the internet.
Go for it. Why not?
All right, let's do it. Let's do it. If y'all haven't seen the music video from Ethan Page,
we don't have to play the whole thing. We'll play a little bit of it. But yeah, so Ethan Page, let's go back a little forward while Arky looks up. Trick Williams was dropping diss tracks. He dropped one of Pete Dunne. He dropped one of Ethan Page. Well, going into Halloween Havoc, Ethan Page himself dropped a diss track on Trick Williams.
Dude, it's on YouTube. We can play anything from YouTube on YouTube. We're good.
Sure, play it. So Ethan dropped, as Arc's preparing this, a diss track on Trick Williams, and it was surprisingly pretty good. It's got a feature. It's featuring somebody. I forget the other guy's name. But it's taking RK a minute here. He's working on it though. We're live. We're live, but we're not. You know, if that makes sense.
I got it here. It's on YouTube, so we can absolutely play it.
We'll quit talking about it and be about it.
Well, I'm gonna just.
If you Sorry, this C4 energy drinks really got me going.
All right. Add. Okay, perfect.
All right. So this is the Trick Williams music video, the diss on, Ethan Page diss to Trick Williams.
Bit of a treat for you. I'm going to join the cornball wave and make a song to promote a fist fight. The only difference between All Ego and Trick Williams is I'm not a cosplay rapper. This is an original song. Ethan Page about to be the Plan B pill for your Plan B career.
1, 2, he's coming for you. 3, 4, EGO. 5, 6, better hide the kids, cause it's gonna be scary when he whoops that trick. 1, 2, he's coming for you. 3, 4, EGO. 5, 6, better hide the kids, cause it's gonna be scary when he whoops that trick.
I heard it's Halloween Havoc, so I'm saying trick or treat. Shiny title in my bag, that's for every trick I beat. Your whole life's been a lie, but you're not tricking me. Take your best shot, Trick, but you'll never finish me. You're a shoulda, woulda, coulda from here. About to fumble that belt like your football career. About to drop that strap like the way you dropped the cash. Calling it the main event, but me and you are not a match. When you lay down, better stay down. October 27th, I'm the devil in the playground. But Mr. Williams, I didn't come to play now. Knocked you out cold the first night that I came out. Yeah, that's the night I made you a star. You see, I've been around the world, you just became what you are. A mascot, not the face of a brand. Came over? No, it never began.
1, 2, he's coming for you. 3, 4, EGO. 5, 6, better hide the kids, cause it's gonna be scary when he whoops that trick. 1, 2, he's coming for you. 3, 4, EGO. 5, 6, better hide the kids, cause it's gonna be scary when he whoops that trick.
Let's talk about it. How I made you gasp and crawl, how your chain and your watches from a kiosk at the mall. Bet I'm better on the field and I've never catch the ball. I'm better in the booth and I don't even rap at all. Yeah, I made NXT. Cut that check, cause they were short just to E. Now what's up next? Whoop that era, it's on one last breath. The only reason you're the champ is cause a punk ass ref.
There it is. Trick Williams, you got dissed by Mr. Ethan Page. I liked it.
It was better than what I was expecting it would have been.
And I love the shot at CM Punk. RK is conspiracy theory RK right now and thinks that Ethan Page will be up on the main roster soon to feud with CM Punk. I think that will happen. I think they will cross paths, but I don't think anytime soon, judging on what happened after Halloween Havoc. But yeah, go check that out on YouTube. I might be able to pull that. Maybe, I don't know.
You can. It's on YouTube. You probably
might be able to pull it, post it on YouTube. I don't know. We'll see. That was pretty cool though. I thought it was funny. and it just shows how just great of a professional wrestler, superstar that Ethan Page is.
Ethan Page. I mean, they brought up a stat on the show that he is main evented every
Every
pay per
PLE
view
since
that
he
he's
debuted.
been in since he's joined the company.
And he debuted. His first match was a PLE, and that was Heatwave, and then No Mercy or Heatwave,
Money in Bank.
No Mercy, and then Halloween
Oh,
Havoc.
the Heat Wave Money in the Bank weekend, but yeah, Heat Wave,
Yeah,
No
No Mercy.
Mercy.
And then I mean, it wasn't a PLE, but the debut on the CW network main event. He's that good, and I don't know. I hate the conversation that comes up. Oh, this company fumbled. This company fumbled. I think AEW fumbled Ethan Page on this one.
100% they did.
So
They had something there. They just couldn't develop it.
and he is shining on NXT. What else you got for the news?
That's it. That's
All
where we
right.
ended.
That is a wrap on the news, rumors, and innuendo. We're going to dive into the weekly show recaps, including Bound for Glory and NXT's Halloween Havoc. Little news from my end. I took my own notes for the weekly shows. So we're going to see how this goes.
This is going to be a fucking train wreck, people. You
I-
thought Fightful's notes were bad.
It's going to be fun. It's going to be interesting. And I'm excited to see if I fuck this up or not. I am going to have a screen pulled to my left just in case I need to check on things. And I'm going to need it for AEW to run through that card because we don't watch it. With that being said, we will be right back with the recap of Monday Night Raw. Talk to you guys in just a second. Welcome back to the Top Rope Renegades. Happy Halloween, everybody. We will not have a Halloween episode. This is our Halloween episode. Happy Halloween. Thank you to good old non-copyright music on YouTube for presenting us with the Halloween cinematic by Infraction for today's Be Right Backs. With that being said, RK, my co-host, has left the building, ladies and gentlemen, so I'm doing this solo. And I'm proud to announce that from here on out, this will be a solo podcast. I'm Kurt from Top Rope Renegades, the only man from Top Rope Renegades nowadays. Brought to you by nothing. Oh, wait, hold on. Okay, RK's
Don't ever play corny ass music like that again.
It's Halloween music, man. You don't celebrate? I'm not doing that again. Anyway, we're gonna dive in to Monday Night Raw from October 20.
Dude, if anybody is over the age of 14 trick or treating,
I don't remember the last time I was trick or treating. Trying to think. Yeah, I can't tell you. Last year. Anyway, with that being said, let's dive in to Monday Night Raw. As I said, we've had issues in the past. Kurt's been reading from Fightful, so Kurt took his own notes. RK's worried for some reason.
yeah.
But come on.
Speaking of which, I went on Twitter to make an account earlier today, and then that's why I stopped. But RK __17 was already taken. Now I'm wondering if that was the real guy taking that one already. Probably.
No. __17?
Yeah. No, he'd probably just be underscore. He'd probably just be RK17.
You think that's Ryan Kessler's Twitter?
Possibly. Where do you think I got the fucking initials from? Because I'm a huge Ryan Kessler fan.
Ryan Kessler does have a Twitter, and his @ is Ryan Kessler. Ryan _ Kessler. So there you go. He hasn't tweeted since 2021, so I don't know if that's the real Ryan Kessler, but it says the official Twitter page of Ryan Kessler. I don't know.
Anyways, now you all know where I got the name from. I don't know. I picked it as a gaming tag for NHL, basically. I had a gaming tag before that, and then I created a second gaming tag just for NHL gaming. And then it's just kind of stuck, and everybody just calls me RK, so
it
here
works.
I am.
It works. Let's do it though. Monday Night Raw, shall we? All right.
Arcade. Don't call me by my real name ever.
Yeah.
Arcade.
I don't. I never have actually.
You never have.
Let's do it.
Jizz
Monday
has.
Yeah. Monday Night Raw.
We have a buddy. His online name is Jizz Nasty.
His real
It's
name
not-
is Giselle.
Well, no. Well,
That's
we
his
call
real
him
name.
that.
That's his legal name. Is Giselle.
No, it's not.
Swear to God.
I always thought you guys were just clowning on him.
No, that's his legal name.
Okay, cool. Well,
There's some firepower.
he got the name Jizz Nasty from Biz Nasty, obviously. But anyways,
Yep.
nonetheless.
All right, we're going to. What are we talking about? It's Monday Night Raw, October 21st. Seth Rollins kicks us off. And by the way,
Giselle.
Yeah, that's his real name.
Like Giselle as in like Tom Brady's ex-wife Giselle.
Yeah, but it's spelled like J. I can't spell it because that's a wild. Yeah.
It's spelled like J.
It's what starts with a J instead of a G. But
So
it's Giselle.
his parents named Giselle. Like
Yeah.
Jiz L.
Maybe, dude. I don't know. Call him. You want to call
Yo,
him?
Jesse, your parents are messed up.
All right, Monday Night Raw, October 21st. We were off and we were flying. Seth Rollins kicks us off, taking out Bronson Reed, who is shown with his luggage. Imagine getting knocking out. You got me all fucked up with this Jesse Giselle thing. I'm not gonna lie. Bronson Reed is shown with his luggage coming in. Seth Rollins takes him out from behind. We're off and running. Imagine getting knocked out with your own luggage. Seth runs straight to the ring, calling Bronson Reed out. Pierce comes out with security saying, we're not doing this here. That doesn't work for Bronson Reed. Brother throws him around. A brawl ensues. Braun sets up Seth on the announce table for, of course, a tsunami. Seth moves out the way and stands tall as we open up Monday Night Raw.
Finally, someone's figured out the defense to the tsunami. Get the fuck out of the way.
What do you think? How we opened up Monday Night Raw?
Well, only thing that really stood out for me was one, awesome, but the big thing was that one security guard went, whoa.
Yeah, Bronson.
He got launched, and Adam Pierce just looked at it like, oh, whatever. That was fun. That was a good start. That was wild, right off the hop, right into it. That was good.
Moving forward, we get into a interview with Io Sky and Kairi Sane. They say Lash and Jakara are just in their way, but this all gets interrupted by Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez, where she just trash talks Nia. Io and Kairi are insulted by this interruption and challenge Liv and Raquel to a match later in the show. What do you think of the little interview segment here?
A lot of interviews. I don't know if it's a language barrier or something, but I got like this one gray hair here that's just pissing me off. There's a timing issue. There's been a couple instances in the past where Damage Control will leave an interview too soon, or they're missing their cues and the interview comes off as weird. I don't know. Their interviews don't always hit, but Io Sky and Kairi Sane are awesome, so it doesn't matter.
Cheers to that. We get a vignette that is hyping up Braun Breaker and Jey Uso. That will be the main event for the Intercontinental title rematch after Jey took it from Braun Breaker. First match of the night is the New Day taking on the Authors of Pain. We get a little nostalgia because, as we spoke, Samantha Irvin is no longer the announcer for Monday Night Raw. It's Lillian Garcia. Really, really nostalgic for myself, RK, as well, hearing Lillian Garcia introduce the teams. Mid-match, though, The Miz shows up, and it seems he's on the side of Karrion Kross, maybe. R-Truth takes out Miz and Karrion, causing a roll-up win for Kofi on Razor. We'll get to the post-match stuff in a second. What did you think, though, of the opening match, New Day and Authors of Pain?
Was this the... I'm sorry, I'm just looking something up. You haven't done the post-match shit yet. Okay,
nope,
that's right. That's why I was confused. This match, I mean, it could have gone either way, I guess. I mean, it's all just building up to whatever this story is between Karrion, Miz, New Day. Uh, obviously, what we're
Truth.
about to talk about, what you're about to talk about with
Yep.
Truth and everything, and also the Wyatt Six, as you'll get
Mhm.
into here shortly. But yeah, I mean, the match is whatever. This is typical WWE. Get a match to then lead into furthering along the story. This was purely meant for furthering along the storyline and not meant to be a 5-star match, which is what's lost upon a certain member of the IWC that loves to talk shit all the time about WWE. Is that sometimes the match doesn't need to be 5 stars to have a purpose.
Yep. So as I said, the roll up happens. Kofi on Razor for the win. But afterwards, a beatdown of Truth is happening in the ring. Kofi is trying to help. Xavier's telling him, "We don't want any part of this. Don't want any part of this." The lights go out. The piano starts, and the Wyatts are here. They attack the Final Testament. Miz is alone in the ring. Uncle Howdy shows his face, going for the Miz, but Paul Ellering, of all people, saves the Miz and gets put in a mandible claw. That was just for some reason, after everything, let me rephrase, every match, I wrote what the match was to me. If it was awesome, if it was good, if it was bad. I thought the ending of this was awesome. People are saying that this is writing. I think Dave Meltzer actually said this. They might be getting Paul Ellering off TV with this because there's really nothing for him to do. But the Wyatts, they're after the Miz, and it seems also the Final Testament. How you feeling about that?
Whatever they can do to get Karrion Kross going. I'm a huge fan of Karrion Kross. I want to see him be relevant on TV every week, and it seems like Triple H is trying everything, and I hope that something finally sticks. I just wish more people would see the value that Karrion Kross can bring to the show, because the guy is a legit badass. He posted after the show on Twitter a video, and I'm gonna get it right here for all of us to see. I got it here. Let me share.
Fantastic promo,
Yeah.
by the way.
Yeah,
That's here.
fantastic. This is why Karrion Kross is that good. Here it is. Bring it up full screen. There we go. And
Wyatt Six, big surprise. I knew you were coming. You practically telegraphed it on social media. You know, I don't care who you were going for, Bo, whether it was Miz or it actually was Paul Ellering, but tonight you got the wrong guy. Your greatest advantage over everybody is that they're so afraid of you. But guess what? We're not afraid. We're pissed, because that man traveled up and down the road with your family before you were ever even born. And that's how you're going to do him? You know something? There's an old saying, no matter where the time is told, in the end, everybody pays the toll. And now it's going to be your ass, brother.
Fantastic promo there from Karrion Kross, and he's put multiple of those out on the internet that are just incredible. He's good. I'm on the same page as RK. I want to see him shine, and I want him to get a good platform to do so.
yeah, man, that was, you sent me that. I'm like going, oh man, see, that's what I'm talking about. The guy, he has a presence about himself, and they just got to find that thing that's going to click with the crowd, and he's off and running. He was on Chris Van Vliet, and he brought up a story how he's like, oh, the IWC basically, you know, they're all going, why don't you go back to how you were on NXT, shave your hair, go bald, do that whole thing. He's like going, well, you gotta understand something. Down in NXT, I was just running through everybody and just destroying everybody, and that was my thing down there. And you know, up on the main roster, you can't just do the same thing over and over again. The fans are eventually going to say, yo, this is boring. Why is he just destroying everybody? And had I had long hair in NXT and I was bald now, I'd be like, oh, you should grow the long hair back. It's a perfect example of the IWC, the fans, the online community, everything. Just, they're not happy with anything. They're always going to complain about something. That's what basically why he's saying. If I had long hair then and I was bald now, they want me to have long hair again. It's just we're trying to find the story that works, and we'll get there.
A couple promos and interviews coming up here. Adam Pearce talking with Jackie Redmond about the start of Raw being chaos, but before any words can even get said, Bronson Reed interrupts. and he can't even get a word out at all because Seth Rollins appears and they brawl some more. This will be a recurring theme. Stay tuned. Kathy is catching up with Jey Uso. They want to talk about the bloodline. He says it is what it is, but says at the end of the night he will still be your IC champion. Then we get a Raquel Rodriguez promo saying she will always have Liv's back and has not forgot what Rhea has done to her and Liv, and that she will finish Rhea Ripley. Building more into that story. The next match, Damage Control versus Liv and Raquel. Lash Legend and Jakar Jackson are ringside here. Io, and I'm just reading directly from my notes. I kind of took notes throughout the match. I don't know. This is new to me. I don't take notes. Io and Kyrie have the upper hand, but Raquel eventually does take over. Damage Control look to win, but Io grabs Jakara and Lash, hits Io for a DQ finish. It was a decent match in my eyes. Lash and Jakara stand tall. And there's face-off with Liv and Raquel. What did you think of all this chaos? I'm going to continue with it here in a second, but I'm stopping there. Unless you would like me to continue to add more to it.
No, I'm just thinking. I want to, say my words, but no, I got nothing on it. Really, honestly, I'm like commenting on. Basically, I didn't. Something's not clicking with Liv Raquel right now. I'm not seeing it. I'm a huge Raquel Rodriguez fan. I like her. But it's just I don't know this whole thing. It's just
people are saying
is she supposed to be like the female Diesel or some shit? Like she's a bodyguard for Liv Morgan? Because back in the day, Diesel was brought in to WWE to be Shawn Michaels' bodyguard, right? So, and then that all fell apart, and I feel like they're going for the same story, and eventually Raquel is going to turn on Liv. I don't know. It's not working for me. I'm just not invested in it, and honestly, I would just like to see Damage Control go deal with getting the tag titles.
Yeah. While this face-off is happening, we hear, this is my brutality. Rhea Ripley is here, and it's a slow walk down to the ring. She gets Raquel up out of there, beats down Liv. Liv tries to fight back. Rhea goes to the riptide. Dom saves the day, but then he gets put in a prison trap. They pull Dom away. Mommy, she stands tall. People are upset there on the internet. I saw they're like, why is Rhea always standing tall? You got to make, come on. It's Rhea Ripley. She's going to stand tall over Liv Morgan. Liv doesn't beat her clean. Liv will always beat her by nefarious means. That's how it goes. It's called a heel. A cowardly heel. 3 seconds. 2-1.
3%, Dave. 3%.
3%, Dave. What's that?
No, I was just.
Oh, that's something that Dave probably said.
No, just doing a ADHD twitch.
ADHD check. Adam Pearce is on the phone backstage. Seth goes to speak to him, but before he can get a word out, Bronson trucks Seth Rollins. Pearce splits them up, and he screams to them, and he says, quote, "You're selfish bastards, and fine, you want your match, you'll get it. You face off at Crown Jewel," and makes the match Seth Rollins, Bronson Reed.
That was not an ADHD twitch. Actually, I saw a video. It was during the backstage scene where Bronson and Seth and Adam Pearce trying to break it up, and then he makes the match. But there's a fan video from the crowd of EO walking down the ramp slowly, like she's still hurt, and then Rhea comes up behind her, grabs her, picks her up, and EO's just like,
she's like,
and then you can see on the back on the jumbotron Adam Pearce doing the breakup and everything.
Yeah, that's a callback. Rhea did that before with EO carrying her out like that, so that was pretty cool. We get a War Raiders promo. They're basically shedding the Viking armor back to the War Raiders. I thought this was badass. I'm excited for
it
the
was
War
pretty
Raiders.
cool. It was pretty cool.
There's a new Judgment Day clubhouse. Finn and JD say they can handle the tag teams, and Dom says he can beat Gunther. Carlito laughs at it, and he gets called out for, I don't know, doubting Dom here. He says that he's going to go talk to Pierce, and that he will make a match for Dom against Gunther. Is what
he's the fixer.
He's the fixer. We'll get into that in just a second. Trick Williams is shown. He's in the building. The LWO versus American Made. The Creed brothers representing American Made in this match. My notes I have, it was an athletic match. Dragon and Julius. Julius, by the way, is incredible. It was a decent match. That I don't. Did I rate the winner here? Yeah, I did. LWO picks up the win. It's the LWO versus the War Raiders in the New Day next week. Winner is the number 1 contender. What did you think of this match here?
I think for them to ever get Dragon Lee over, they got to get him the fuck out of the faction.
Yeah.
Dragon Lee's talented. He's overshadowed by all this LWO legato stuff now, Judgment Day, like he's just always in the mix of something, and
Yeah.
I don't think he gets the chance to shine. This is an okay match, but I think Dragon Lee has a lot more to offer, and until he can get a proper push by himself, I don't think he's ever gonna be noticed.
I thought he was better in NXT. He was better served in NXT in the North American title scene, but I agree with you. Get him out of the LWO, but we'll see. Here we go back with Carlito. He is pitching Dom and Gunther for the world title. Adam Pearce says if Dom can beat a former world champion next week, he will get his shot.
Well, no, first Adam Pearce laughed at him.
Yeah, as you should. This was also the controversy segment when Carlito said he
No, what are you saying controversy for? Do we think it's controversy? No, we do not. It was funny. Carlito's an idiot.
I'm just doing my job here.
You're not doing your job. You're just trying to fuel the fire of controversy.
Okay. But yeah, he will face a former world champion next week. He will get a shot at Gunther. It's a mystery. We don't know who it's going to be. It's speculation. My initial guess is Damian Priest. Some people are saying Goldberg. I don't know about that.
Honestly, I'd love to see Goldberg just jackhammer Dominic. So,
up next, Gunther is getting interviewed, and he says Cody Rhodes just loves drama. One of the quotes was saying Cody is one of many, and that himself, Gunther, is one of one. Damian Priest interrupts this and says, "Go ahead, have your match with Cody, do your thing. But when you get back, I will be earning a shot back to win the world title from you." Yeah, I kind of want to see Damian back in the mix now that he's moved on from the Judgment Day situation. Do you realistically think Damian can get back to the mountaintop, though?
Yes, Priest 100% can and should be.
Okay.
Priest is one of those guys that I think, you kind of got to study his meteoric rise, really. I mean, it was only like 3 years ago, maybe a little bit longer, but not much longer, that he was just doing the Archer of Infamy gimmick. And now he's literally top billed superstar in WWE. At his age, it's wild that rise. It's wild because really before, I mean, NXT is NXT, and at the time I wasn't watching it, so I mean, I'm going to say that before his rise in WWE, what was he really doing?
Yeah.
I mean, was he really that big of a deal in NXT? I don't know.
Yeah.
This big of a deal in NXT?
Not a chance. I mean, he was an NXT world champion.
So there you go. So literally 3-year period at his age to be where he is now is absolutely something that needs to be, like, people should, like, young talent, all talent should look at me like it's possible.
Agreed with that. It is main event time. Braun Breaker looking to regain his Intercontinental Championship from the champion, Jey Uso. Here in my notes, I just put, God bless Braun Breaker. He is so damn good, as is Jey. Let's get into the meat and potatoes here, though. Don't know where I came up with that. Solo and Jacob Fatu, though, they show up.
I feel like, recording a podcast or a video cast or whatever the fuck we're doing, talking about wrestling, and because we're recording and it's people are listening to us, I do it too, and you do. We say stupid cliches. I think it's just a prerequisite when you're telling a story to people. You got to use cliches because everybody knows the meat and potatoes of the story. Everybody knows what that means, unless you know. Two.
Yeah. Solo and Jacob Fatu, they're there.
Actually, speaking of funny stories. Speaking of Yun, I'm an electrician by trade. I own a company. I am partnered with a builder. They give me work to wire up houses and shit and renos and all that stuff. And I was talking with the owner of that company one day and just like, oh, I'm doing a podcast about wrestling. He's like, oh, wrestling. And my son loves wrestling. I'm like, he's like, you should give me the link to that podcast. I'm like, how old's your kid? He's like 9. I'm like, he can't listen to us.
No. Yeah, you can. I don't care at this point.
I mean, it's your choice, but he really shouldn't.
No. As I said, Solo, Jacob, they're ringside with the classic. We got tickets. Solo, there's a good little meme going around of Solo with the tickets. We got tickets. And they've got a Yeet shirt too, and they're there to help Jay.
Solo, like during the bloodline, like with Roman in the bloodline, who would have saw Solo figuring it out?
Mm-hmm. He's been so good the past few weeks.
He's been on fire. He really grew into his role.
Yep. So they're there to help Jay, as is Tama and Tonga. They're also on the opposite ringside, but Jay, I just gets
there. Tama and Tonga. It's Tama Tonga. Why would you just say one name?
And Tonga Loa.
Tama Tonga. You said Tama Tonga.
Tama and Tonga.
No, you said Tama.
They're two people.
Tama Tonga is one person.
And Tonga Loa is the other. I didn't put that.
Yeah, but you said Tama Tonga.
I said Tama and Tonga. You're pissing me off. Don't do this. Motherfucker. They eat some super kicks, and this pisses Solo off.
You do see the confusion, though, don't you?
Yeah, but I said and.
I don't think you did.
I did. Replay. They eat some super kicks because they're trying to hype Jay up.
Picture.
Jay, he hits some super kicks, pissing Solo off. Solo comes out and he's trying to explain, I'm here to help you. Solo pushes Jay out of the way and eats a spear from Braun Breaker. This pisses off Jacob Fatu, and we get a stare down between Jacob
and the crowd fucking lost their shit.
It got a holy shit chant. I mean, it's something that we all want. That match would be fantastic. So
apparently the rumors is that after that reaction that WWE is going to make that match happen eventually.
Do it. We get a near finish after a Jay spear and a splash. I thought it was over there. The Tongans get thrown out. Jacob, though, in the confusion while the Tongans are getting thrown out, takes out Jay with a super kick and throws him on the announce table. Braun Breaker, easy here. Takes over from there, hits his spear. 1, 2, 3. Braun Breaker is your champion again, for the Intercontinental Champion again. I wrote this match was a banger. What did you think?
This match was great. The dynamic of the bloodline, everything worked. The IWC is up in arms, both sides of this. One of the big criticisms is like, why can't you have Jay retain here? Why only let him have the title for like 27 days? You're really just using him as a pawn in your scheme of business. And they go as far as saying this is the typical WWE and what they do to their wrestlers. They dangle that carrot, say you'll win the title, then you win it, but it's gone the next day. It's like the Bloodline story does not need the titles for anything. And the title doesn't make a wrestler. In some cases it does, but more often than not, the title doesn't matter. It's a gimmick. It truly is a gimmick. You listen, Bruce Pritchard blew Conrad Thompson's mind on his own podcast early when they started, in one of their early episodes, where Bruce Pritchard, the title's just a gimmick. It doesn't matter. And Conrad's like, what? It doesn't. The title doesn't very rarely does it make the wrestler. The wrestler makes the title what it's worth. Jay doesn't need the title to be who he is. The Bloodline story doesn't need a title. Thank God they got the tag team titles off of them, and we'll get into that. But the Bloodline story is its own story in itself that doesn't need a title. And there's a lot of stories in wrestling that don't need a title. And this isn't a knock at Jay. This isn't saying Jay's not worthy of it. It's just Jay's got more important shit to deal with, and you can't have him full-time defending the Intercontinental title and dealing with the Bloodline story Because if you did that and you only had him part-time working about dealing with the Intercontinental stuff, then the criticism is going to be like, oh, look, Jay doesn't ever defend the Intercontinental title. It's like, yeah, exactly. Hence why the Judgment Day shouldn't have the title belts right now, and they're probably going to lose them relatively shortly. And the Bloodline shouldn't have the title belts, which they lost because they're busy doing their own story and the belts don't fit into it.
Yep.
So the fans are always going to bitch about something. And honestly, if you're going to bitch about it without actually looking at the business and how it works, then, really stop bitching and just enjoy it if you're not going to actually understand how the business works and want to talk about it like you understand how the business works.
Agreed. Everything you just said. I got nothing more to add to that. All I have to say is let's move forward to NXT from October 22nd. We kick things off with a match. Damage Control, Metaphors, Lash, and Chikara. Pretty good match here.
By the way, pause. That Raw review, how much of that was your own notes and how much of it was
I went through all my notes.
That was it? That was just your notes for that?
I promise. I had Raw.
No, I'm not. I'm just honestly asking if that was your notes or not.
Yep, my notes.
That was good. They matched up with my notes.
Okay.
Did you notice I didn't stop you at any moment and say,
I know. I was like, okay, cool. I have NXT pulled up my notes. I did have it pulled up off to the left, but just in case. But I'm going to read directly from my notes here. Damage Control, Metaphor, kick things off. Lash and Chikara. Lash showed her strength throughout this match, but Kyrie and Io are just way too good. But we don't get a match here. We don't get a finish. There's interference from Piper Niven and Chelsea Green, who stand tall at the end of this. What do you think of the kickoff and the open to NXT? By the way, go home show to Halloween Havoc.
This worked. The match is whatever, but what they're doing is they're actually making the WWE Women's Tag Division seem like it's important right now.
Yep.
And what they're doing over the last few weeks, they've really been pushing the division and making it feel like it's got a feud and it's got a story to it. And you got Damage Control and Chikara and Lash, and you got Jade and Bianca, and everything's just coming together. And it's just they're making a story with the women's division, which tag teams, which they usually don't. The WWE Women's Tag Teams has been a foregone, well-known fact that it's just there.
Yeah. Yep, they're doing a good job, and we'll get into more of it on SmackDown from an announcement that happened for Crown Jewel. Up next, I have to check these notes because I don't know what I...
Cole Custer. Tank and Hank.
Who's Cole Custer again?
NASCAR?
Oh, God. Thank you. Thank you for
Holy shit, mister.
Whoa.
I work at a racetrack. I do media for a racetrack. Doesn't know who the fuck Cole Custer is?
Oh, Jesus Christ. You know what's funny? I glanced over at my news on the Fightful. They don't even have that in here. Anyway, Cole Custer arrives. Xfinity
I'm going to have to message Jack, I think.
No, it's... I just spaced for a second because I'm...
Hey, yo, Jack. Kurt don't know who Cole Custer is.
He probably doesn't know who Cole Custer is.
My ass, he doesn't know who Cole Custer is.
Xfinity Series champion is the under of the main NASCAR series.
Holy fuck.
Arrives to set up a match with Hank and Tank.
That's like me going,
OTM.
What are those things that brighten up the rain? The things in the sky?
The lights?
Yeah, those.
Okay, dude. My mind is on wrestling. You think my mind went Cole? I thought Cole Custer was... Anyway. OTM, Hank and Tank, we get a match set up for that.
Cole Custer debuting NXT Superstar.
We also get a segment with Carmen Petrovich. Seems she's pretty into Ashanti De Adonis. Sol and Brinley Reese, Sol Ruka and Brinley Reese are confronting kinda Carmen, saying, "What do you see? There's no way you see something in him," and blah blah blah. And she sees, thinking what's best for Carmen here. And she tells Sol and Brinley that they're going to find out what is best for her later. I didn't know what this meant, but it did set up a match for later in the show, Sol Ruka and Carmen Petrovich. With that being said, we move forward to Tatum Paxley, Jada Parker. I don't really have much with this. Jada picks up the win with a hip attack. Pretty good match, though. What did you think?
Yeah, short match, just over 4 minutes long. This is all about. This is just the continuation of Parker's rise in NXT and the WWE. They're really giving her a push, and she's been taking to it. We're gonna get to that Lola Vice Jada Parker showdown. It's gonna be a big field match. They're building it up slowly but surely here. And I think she should take the win over in that match. I think Jada's a talent that you can push. She's got something. There's something there.
Yep. And as you hinted at, post match, Lola comes out wanting a piece of Jada, but in the background, Wendy Chu throws Tatum Paxley in a road case,
and again, the start of long-term storytelling in WWE.
Yep. We'll get to that more. Lexus King says he wants a shot at the Heritage Cup, and Charlie finally agrees to this match. And he tells Miles to let Ava know, and I don't think Miles heard him, and just really loudly goes, "Huh?" I heard that because it was a good laugh. He gets the message, but then they tell Lexus he has to find a corner man, and this will set up more throughout.
Who could possibly corner for Lexus King?
You're not going to find out until Halloween Havoc. We'll get there later. Javon Evans and Cedric are speaking with Fraxium. Fraxium kind of pokes and prods Javon and then gets the living fuck smacked out of him. Wesley has jokes for this as well with Javon. And yeah, I think we're setting up Javon, Cedric, and Fraxium again. Or no, they haven't had a match. Have they had a match yet? No, they haven't. Fraxium came out when they had a match with A-Town Down Under. We get a nice little hype video for Stephanie Vacour and Julia. And then we see Rizzo has been taken out backstage. But by who? See if we find out here.
We still don't know.
We don't know, but we have ideas, and we'll get to that in just a second.
We're going to find out on Tuesday.
Yeah, we're going to find out on not this match, not this Tuesday, but next week. Tune in. Luca Crucifino.
We're talking about past Tuesday. Obviously, we'd be talking about the upcoming Tuesday.
Well, I hinted we kind of get an idea maybe of who took out.
No, that doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, speculation. Luca Crucifino taking on Oba Femi. I wrote down that Oba is just a different animal, and it's a pretty convincing win here for Oba Femi, just showcasing the power. Luca had a couple cool spots. Stronger guy. But nothing against Oba. What did you think here?
Outside of the choke slam that Luca countered into a code breaker, that's Femi just destroying a member of the family.
Yep, and post match the beatdown on Stax happens. Stax and Luca pulls out a table. Tony D tries to help, but then gets zip tied to the turnbuckle, and is forced to watch Oba destroy his family. Puts Stax through a table, and then Luca through a ladder, considering this a preview for Halloween Havoc. We get a Delta hype video for Halloween Havoc, and it is noted that now her name is Zarya. Chase University, we get a promo from them. Runs down Ridge for being a traitor. Ridge versus Andre Chase is announced in this promo as an ambulance match. In ring, we get Ethan Page and Trick Williams promo back and forth here. I'm just going to lead by this. I'll read exactly what I wrote. Page goes down the list of pass that him and Trick have taken on the 17 years. Or sorry, I'm reading too fast here. Ethan goes down the list of pass that he has took. And that it took him 17 years on the Indies and AEW, kind of, is what I wrote. And Trick has had it all given to him. The Performance Center, this, that, and the other. Saying,
I mean, the AEW does basically count as the indie show.
Saying Trick has had it all given to him, and then I just put Ethan cooked the living fuck out of Trick in this promo. And to me, it came across that Trick was a cocky face, and Page is the heel, but you believe everything that's coming out of Ethan Page's mouth here. Basically saying he's got the devil inside of him. He's not afraid to take the risk and do whatever it takes. Whereas, because he's had the experience where Trick has not even tasted his own blood. That Ethan has tasted his blood many times, and he's tasted it so much that he likes the taste of his own blood. I just wrote he cooked that promo. Ethan Page is fantastic. What did you think?
Yeah, absolutely. 100% Ethan Page outperformed Trick in this. But I mean, honestly, you would expect it to happen because Ethan Page is a 18-year veteran in the industry, and Trick's been in it for 4.
Yeah, ish. Yeah.
So no surprise there. I mean, you've seen it all throughout wrestling. Sometimes you got to be careful. Trick does have enough of a following. What is the word I'm looking for? He's over.
Yeah.
He is over enough that you can put him against a far superior talent on the mic and get away with it. But there have been countless times in the past where you put a guy who's really good on the mic against a guy who's not going to the mic, and it absolutely demolishes his career.
Yeah.
So you always got to be careful with that. Trick is obviously comes out fine in this, but you're right. He does come off as a prickish, cocky face, and I don't know. I'm not on the Trick train. I don't really see the hype, but that's just me.
I mean, he's over. I mean, the fans are behind him. He's got a catchy song, and he's athletic enough. I get it, but I agree. I don't think he's as good as everyone says he is. Up next,
Ethan Page, on the other hand,
yeah,
he's legit, man.
yes,
If he doesn't find his way onto the main roster at some point, it'll be beyond me why.
he will be. I see that. Up next, Cora Jade, Roxanne Perez, Fatal Influence, Kalani Jordan. All I wrote was that they said some words backstage.
It's awfully sexist of you. You
I
have a full write up for Trick and Ethan, but the woman con, you're just like, they said some stuff.
They were just talking shit. Fatal Influence basically talking shit to Kalani Jordan
I'm kidding. I'm
about
joking.
the match coming up. But in the background, I wanted to point out that Lexus King is in the background trying to get. He has like 2 people he's talking to: Dante Chen.
This guy's.
Inoue,
they said some words, but the boys in the background—that's what he was interested in.
You done?
I'm sorry. I'm just being. I'm sorry.
You done?
I'll stop. I'll stop.
Basically, Lexus can't get a corner man. And then we get a hype video for the NXT and the old ECW stomping grounds, which was really good. Next match, Sol Ruka and Carmen Petrovich. Ashanti the Adonis is in the crowd with a baddie, and Carmen is not a fan of this. The match itself carries on. Carmen keeps looking at Adonis, and she looks a little bit too much because then she gets her soul snatched by Sol Ruka for the 1, 2, 3. What did you think?
There's a trend on this NXT, and I picked it up right around this point actually. I have in my notes. It's like, holy fuck, there's a lot of short matches tonight.
Yeah, there was a lot of matches.
I mean, I think like all the matches. Let me go through my notes here. This one came in at just over 4 minutes. The one before it was I don't even have a time on that one. 3 minutes, 4 minutes. The first match was 11 minutes. Every other match has been 3, 4, 4.
Mm-hmm.
Like a lot of short matches. I mean, it's fine to have a short match, but I mean, so many of them after, it's just like you're just trying to. It's just like you're not sure what you're doing. You're not sure what you want to do with the show, so you're just like get a whole bunch of matches out there, and if you do that too often, you just become AEW. So
fair enough. Backstage, Nikita Lyons is hyping up Tyson DuPont. I think it's how you say his name. Just telling him, you got to go for it. I came back. You got to go for it. And then Oba shows up and gives Nikita her robe. Says, you dropped this. She says, thank you. And he says, no, thank you. This is where I wrote, did Nikita take out Rizzo? We'll see. We don't know, and you will know if you tune into NXT next week. Up next is OTM taking on Hank and Tank with Cole Custer. Lola shows up and attacks Jada Parker mid-match. Cole Custer helps out Hank and Tank get the win. I wrote mid for this match. It wasn't, but it was so short.
Can you guess how long this match was?
2.5 minutes.
3 minutes and 9 seconds.
Damn. Yeah, but it was a quick match.
It's all about the guest star spot, really. Honestly, Custer gets his helmet shot in, and then
Lola and Jada building that. Backstage, Nathan Frazier is pissed and he wants a fight with Javon Evans, but in his rage, he ends up getting a match. Not just any match; it's a title match. Fraxium taking on Javon Evans and Cedric Alexander. The whole time he's going off on Ava, Axiom is kind of like, "What are you doing? Stop! What are you doing?" And he wouldn't listen, and we get the tag match set up. Lexus King shows up asking Ava for help because everyone doesn't trust him because of his dad, and Ava wouldn't understand that because everyone loves you guys. I just laughed when he said that. Pretty good moment. Obviously referring to the bloodline per se that Ava is a part of. Everybody loves you guys. Nobody loves me because of my dad. We get a Ridge Holland promo on Andre Chase, and then a Tony D cuts a promo saying Oba made it more than just a match, kind of changed the rules of the tables, ladders, and scares match. Instead of the title being above the ring, it's just a win by pinfall or submission. Backstage, as Stephanie Bakor and Julia are making their way to the ring, Damage Control crosses paths, and there's a nice little stare down with Kyrie pulling out her. Oh God, why am I? The scope. Anyway,
Telescope.
Telescope.
Holy fuck!
I was trying to get too far ahead of myself. There was somebody on Twitter. They were like, "That's awesome." Kyrie pulled it out and was like, "Holy shit! It actually is Julia." What are you doing here?
They have history. They have history.
Yeah. The main event: Fatal Influence versus Julia and Stephanie Bakor. Wrote that this is a great match that showcased the new stars in the NXT division. Kalani shows up to take out Jasmine Nix. There's a distraction. Bakor gets her finisher for the 1-2-3. Great match. And then we spoke on it a little bit. We got to see it, but it was very rushed at the end here with Fatal Influence spinning the wheel and getting the spinner's choice for Halloween Havoc in their match for the North American Championship against Kalani. But before we could even get much with that, the lights go out. We got to see it on the feed that RK provided. Zaria's arrival, but it was very quick. It was quick. They were pressed for time, and as RK said in the news, some people didn't even get to see it. But besides that, what did you think?
I feel like they could have cut out one of those 18 3-minute matches, and they probably could have had enough time.
Maybe. What did you think of the main event, though?
I mean, Fatal Influence is doing what they always do, cannon fodder for the better talent, which is unfortunate because all three women in Fatal Influence are actually, in my opinion, talented. Jasmine Nix being the youngest of the group. JC Jane, you and I had a conversation about that earlier. She's been around in NXT for a while now, 4 years going on, I do believe. And Fallon Henley, she needs to be a face again. But nonetheless, I think Fatal Influence deserves their flowers a bit. I think they could be a very good faction if they were given a bit more. They're just there to lose, basically. So a little annoyed by that. But obviously against Julia and Stephanie,
what are you gonna do?
I mean, it was a win before it was even a match. So Stephanie and Julia are. Stephanie looks amazing, always does. Julia is great. They're awesome. They are all they are advertised to be. They are needle movers.
There you go. And Zarya is now in the mix, and we'll get into that a little more when we get to Halloween Havoc.
Honestly, the only thing I want from Zarya is to go up against Rhea Ripley.
Yeah, that adds up. That's going to happen. Real quick, we'll do the usual run through AEW Dynamite. I am just going to stick to the matches, but there's a couple things I do want to point out that we did see over the internet. All the AEW baby faces standing guard in the parking lot like it's WCW back in the 90s. There's that. There is a quote from Moxley from a vignette that I did want to read that I was just glancing at, and it caught my eye. He said, reiterating that all of AEW works for him, imagine what they all could become because tonight a small part of someone will be destroyed for the greater good. That's a quote there from John Moxley. Tony Schiavone interviews Adam Page about his loss. Shelton Benjamin defeats Sammy Guevara. And if there's anything you have to add from anything you saw on the internet, please stop me. We get Renee Paquette talking to Mariah May. Kyle Fletcher comes out explaining why he turned on Will Ospreay, and he shaves his hair. He's bald now. Renee Paquette talks with Ricochet, leading. We hit on this Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling. Takeshita had a match, which I still have to watch against Mike Bailey, or was it Alexander? I think it was Alexander. I forget which night it was because there was 2 nights, but whatever. Ricochet came out to make the save, setting up that. Brian Cage and Lance Archer defeated some enhancement talents. I do want to add these parts because they are building something with Orange Cassidy. Chuck Taylor, who is wearing like AEW staff stuff now, is talking to Orange Cassidy about being a leader. Chris Jericho defeated Mark Briscoe for the Ring of Honor World Championship in a ladder match. That happened.
I'm sorry. Do you want reactions from me?
That I just kind of had to pause on that because Jericho's doing Jericho things. Shout out to Chris Jericho. Camille versus Chris Statlander gets a vignette. Adam Cole comes out. We hit on this a little bit. There was a promo. So I don't understand what's going on here. And I'm not going to try to. Roderick Strong, Mike Bennett, Matt Taven interrupt Adam Cole. And they're all on the same page again. So maybe the Undisputed Kingdom's back together in their baby faces. MJF's getting a massage. And this is what you've pointed out on the news. Talking about that Roderick and Adam Cole first to win 3 matches gets him at Full Gear. We get a video recap about Jamie Hayter and Penelope Ford. The House of Black are back. They defeat Kevin Koa, Jaden Monroe, and Pirata de la Muerta. Buddy Matthews challenges Adam Cole to a match next week. Camille defeats Queen Aminata. More stuff here. I guess the baby faces tried to jump Christian Cage. They realized it wasn't him, so they didn't. This is where we find out Hook says the person who attacked his father's in the ring, meaning one of the Christian Cage. It was Christian Cage. That's who attacked Taz. And he laid out Hook.
That seems weird that Christian Cage would attack somebody's dad.
I think it was Christian. Chris Sabin's there, and Kip Sabian takes out Hook.
Chris Sabin's in WWE, but
yep. The main event was Daniel Garcia and Private Party taking on the Elites, Jack Perry and the Young Bucks. Daniel Garcia and Private Party get the win. Zay pinned Matt. They challenged the Young Bucks to a tag title match. And the stipulation I don't know when the tag title match is. Oh, it's next week. If Private Party lose to the Young Bucks, they have to split up. That's next week on Dynamite. But we close the show with the Blackpool Combat Club arriving. They attack Garcia and Private Party, and John Moxley pulled Chuck Taylor out from backstage, and they Pillmanized his neck. Rest of the roster came out, led by Orange Cassidy, who looked furious to end AEW Dynamite.
So they did a career-ending angle on a guy whose career is ended. Okay, cool.
There you go. But they are building some story here for Orange Cassidy.
Like if Shane McMahon doesn't show up at some point, this whole storyline's wasted.
They need Shane. I'm going to pull up SmackDown over here just because I'll admit we're going to move to SmackDown now. That was your AEW Dynamite run through. So on the SmackDown recap, I did my notes, but when we got to the very end, and you'll understand why, it got very chaotic very fast, and I was unable to. I just stopped typing because I was like, "What is happening?" But I got it in my memory, and we'll get through it. I did want to mention we had mentioned that Judgment Day, Finn and JD went overseas in that Ireland. It's OTT. Did they win that match?
They did. They did the JD moonsault, Finn Balor coup de grace, and that was the finish.
Yep.
And JD posted on Twitter that that moment is for him and for Finn in their top 10 moments in wrestling, period.
I want to go watch that match. I'm going to find a way to watch that match. I just have the results pulled up.
OTT puts a lot of their shit online.
We'll go find that. Michael Oku was there at OTT's. This was their 10-year anniversary show. Michael Oku was there. He had a match. But all right, let me get SmackDown pulled up just in case I missed something. Alrighty. This is from October 25th. We open things up with Randy Orton. He goes out. Before he goes out, he stops at the gorilla position, and Triple H is kind of shitty and get the fuck out there. Tells him to go out there. So Randy does, and he starts a promo talking about Kevin Owens, basically saying that they're protecting Kevin Owens from him, and he calls out Triple H. And Triple H reluctantly does get up from gorilla position, comes out, and he looks pissed. Randy keeps saying Triple H is protecting KO. Triple H says the match will not happen because he's protecting Randy from Kevin Owens. I didn't write everything from this promo, but all I wrote was after Triple H says his piece, Randy Orton cuts, in RK's mind, one of the top 5 promos he's ever heard, and I can't but say I agree. A fantastic promo begging for Kevin Owens. The crowd's into it.
Back the fuck up. What?
What do you mean, what?
When did I say that?
Brother, when that promo ended, you were very excited about it. You said it was one of the greatest promos ever.
No.
You did. And then you
right
came
up
back.
the replay.
Oh, we didn't record. We weren't recording full show shit. Begging for Kevin Owens, Triple H does cave and says to the fans and Randy, I hope you know what you're getting yourselves into. Makes the match, telling Randy, from this point on, you better watch your back from here on out.
A fantastic promo. Top 5. I think you're putting words in my mouth.
You said it was the greatest promo ever. We were watching. You came back.
Now it's the greatest. Now it's the greatest promo ever.
Listen.
Like better than CM Punk's pipe bomb.
Are you done?
Better than Stone Cold's Austin 3:16 promo.
I don't know. You said it. But then you came back and you said, now that I've had to calm down, it's got to be top 5.
Pretty sure I didn't say it was greatest. And I'm pretty sure I didn't say it was top 5. I think you're just fucking talking shit now.
You did. You said
I don't know. This is Kurt getting back at me for all the times I punk him.
Of all times, I'm actually being honest. You said it.
I'm almost positive I didn't.
You drinking again?
I never drink.
I know. I was channeling what did Darby Allin say to John Moxley that everybody thought was like the coldest line ever. Are you drinking again? And I thought, who cares? No, but it was a fire promo. Randy does get Kevin Owens at Crown Jewel. And yeah, I mean, carry on with what you're saying. I'll hush. You said it was a great promo. It was a cool promo.
It was a great promo. Yes, it was. Greatest of all time. You're out to lunch. But hey, you're allowed to believe whatever you want. If you think it's top 5, that's cool.
And you believe Joe Hendry's going to be a world champion in WWE?
Yeah, he's about world champion all companies. Should hold the women's tag titles as well.
Santina Morello. You can take notes from Santina. He knows. This promo got scrutinized, by the way, not for the words, but because AEW marks and people that hate WWE are like, "Oh, Triple H says he doesn't want the spotlight, but yeah, here he is." It made sense. Shut the fuck up, people.
Tony Khan also said he'd never put himself on TV, but he took a fucking Meltzer driver. So,
True.
So, nonetheless, the big thing here was Triple H talking about Kevin Owens, saying, "Yeah, I've known Kevin Owens for a long time. Ever since he's come into the business, I've watched him closely, and yeah, he's screwed over his friends. People say he's always screwing over friends. Well, this is different. This is a different Kevin Owens. They're really pitching this. Kevin Owens has lost it at this point. It's so good. Triple H is this kind of promo makes you miss him.
Yeah, I said that when we were watching
on the mic. You hate to miss you miss him coming out every week and doing what he did. And you sometimes, it's the old cliche line of you don't really know what you have until it's gone.
Yeah. We're gonna learn that very
Triple
quickly.
H just fantastic. Randy Orton fantastic in this promo. Great fucking promo. all around. It's what WWE is so well. It's hyping. They're hyping it. They're making this is the match. This is the match at Crown Jewel that matters.
Yeah. I mean, you're not wrong. Up next, it is Game 7. Carmelo Hayes versus Andrade. LA Knight is the special guest referee. LA Knight does call off this match about just over halfway into it, what their normal match would be, if that makes sense. I'm trying to describe it. Anyway, the match is pretty good. LA Knight calls it off and says he's the winner of Game 7 and still your United States champion. Kind of heelish in my eyes. I wrote that it was a making of another banger between these two, but I hated this finish. What did you think?
Yeah, this was a weird turn for LA Knight. It made him kind of look like a prick.
Yep.
There is no real reason for him to get involved with it. Honestly, for a game 7 match, the go home match, the final match, the winner of the tournament or the series, whatever.
Yeah.
What a cop out.
And all it was a setup, a triple threat.
It was a cop. No, it was a cop out one. Yeah, one to set up the triple threat, which we all saw coming. But it was a cop out to not give either of them a loss and declare a winner in the series.
Right. It's still 3-3 in my eyes. But we'll see what happens here. Up next, Nia and Tiffany are backstage where Nia says she can't get rid of Naomi, or basically asking if Tiffy's okay. She's sick still. Nia says she needs someone to take on Naomi. Tiffy pipes up and says she will. But Nia has other ideas. She chooses Candice LeRae instead. Very rarely does Kurt predict things like RK. RK is the Nostradamus of predicting things and seeing it forward. I got this one right. Well, maybe. We haven't been fully made true of this, but a while back I said they're going to set it up where Tiffy turns on Nia. Don't know how. When Candice got involved on Monday Night Raw with Nia to help Nia get a win, I was like, oh, they're going to use Candice, and that's going to cause it. And I think that's happening.
Now, do you think that was their plan all along, or they literally pivoted because Tiffany got sick?
I don't know. Or if that was all part of the plan. I'm not sure. Nick Aldis is telling off LA Knight, as he should. By the way, we've said it before. Nick Aldis is the best GM. Telling off LA Knight and says, and he ends up making, as we speculated, the triple threat match for Crown Jewel between LA Knight, Andrade, and Carmelo Hayes. Some people on the internet saying, LA Knight's had a good run. Let's put it on Carmelo or Andrade.
No.
You agree with that?
Not yet.
You think it's still LA? Maybe we are getting heel
LA
turn
Knight.
LA? I don't know.
I'd be fine with a heel LA Knight, but
Yeah.
you don't take title off him at this point. I think LA Knight needs to hold the title at least WrestleMania.
Okay.
I think if you're gonna make a star out of Carmelo or Andrade out of this whole thing, however they get there, I think a win on a bigger stage in Crown Jewel,
I can hear that.
is better to make a star out of a guy than a win at Crown Jewel.
Yep. Okay, I hear you on that. I see what you're going. Up next, Candice LeRae taking on Naomi. Midway through the match, Indy, of course, gets involved on the side of Candice, but Naomi's got backup too, and it's Bayley who comes out and makes the save, allowing Naomi to pick up the win. I wrote meh match. It was okay. What did you think?
Naomi's put on some pretty good matches lately, but I mean, Candice LeRae, how often does she wrestle?
Yeah. I mean, she's the speed champion. I know that.
3 minutes or less, buddy. So
there's
those don't really count. There's
great TikToks that Indy's been making with Candice and like catering and stuff, with the speed aspect being a part of it. Like they'll go to eat their food and Indy just destroys her food really fast to show that she's like faster than Candice. It's good shit.
I believe it is, but I mean, you don't wrestle on a regular basis. I mean, how great can a match be? It's like anything.
Cody and Gunther have a face-off. I took some notes here. Gunther cuts off the woe in Cody's entrance, which was great heel work, by the way. Gunther asks Cody, "What do you want to talk about?" And talks about his daughter and says that this match has nothing to do with your daughter. Calls him messy and whatever. And Cody says, we're proud to be messy kings around here. Gunther says he can say no to things, basically saying because Cody says yes to everything, media things, blah, 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 this, that, and the other. Gunther says, I can say no to things because you can't, because if you say no, your story is finished. Cody finally takes offense to this and says he is man enough to throw the first shot, and he knocks down Gunther, but Ludwig Kaiser shows up. Gunther takes control from there. Randy shows up to aid Cody. What do you think of this back and forth? And I'm just going to be honest. We've bitched it a couple times. I don't care about Crown Jewel that much. That's where I'm at with it.
I don't really think we need to keep bringing it up, but here we are again.
I'm just talking. Why are you so critical? Carry on.
Cody had a line in this that I really liked. Cody admits Gunther is a ring general, a man who terrorized the planet before they called him Gunther, but he's a general without an army. Basically implying that, yeah, Gunther is legit, and yeah, he's only lost like a handful of matches in the last like 8 years.
I think never mind. Carry on. I'm thinking of something else.
No, continue. What were you going to say?
I was thinking of something else, but I also was going to bring up: is this when Cody says that he's taking down Roman, or basically Roman, and he's taking out Beast, or was that on Raw? I'm getting the two confused.
You are getting the two confused. That was on Raw.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, basically implying that it would take an army to beat Cody.
Yeah.
It was a good throwaway line. I liked it. Gunther is amazing. So good. Legitimately, not even kidding. Probably only a handful of times he's lost in the last 8 years.
Sammy, I think we read it off one night. Sammy, Ilya. Is that it? I'm trying to think.
It's not a lot.
Braun break? No, Braun didn't. Pete Dunne, I think, was the other one.
Yeah, in like NXT UK. Nonetheless, he's just been on a dominant run.
Yep.
All the way through. The dude is just a menacing guy, and it's rare that a man that doesn't lose very often continues to have such momentum. It works.
He's just that good.
It works.
I will say I'm excited for the match itself, but I could care less about that title, man. That thing is hideous. The GMs backstage make a fatal 4-way match for the women's tag titles at Crown Jewel. I didn't write the team names, but I'm going to guess real quick. It was obviously Jade and Bianca, Damage Control, Piper Niven and Chelsea Green, and Lash Legend Jakara Jackson. They will be taking on each other at Crown Jewel for the women's tag titles. I'll ask you now, do you think the titles change hands here?
Yes.
Yeah. Damage Control, maybe?
Yes. Yeah.
Put it on Piper and Chelsea. That'd be good shit.
That.
That'd be good shit right there. Main event time, kind of. DIY taking on the Motor City Machine Guns. This was what some people call a dream match, me included. I didn't know all this, but they kind of went over it and dude, come on. Don't look at me like that. I don't like that. Why are you looking at me like that? They put it over on commentary that Johnny Gargano was basically trained.
If you want dream matches, go watch AEW.
That's good, yeah. They were putting over that Johnny's looked up to in, I think, roomed with the Machine Guns at a time period, as well as Corey Graves. He kept talking about it. The match itself, pretty good. DIY and the Machine Guns are they're good tag team wrestlers. There was a moment where Johnny ended up kicking or hitting Tommaso on accident, which Tommaso posted that still shot on his Instagram. People are speculating that DIY is breaking up. And if you look back on their NXT matches, put on another banger, boys. But anyway, Motor City Machine Guns pick up the win, and they are the number one contenders for the tag team titles. What did you think of Motor City Machine Guns and DIY?
Came out to a little bit more of a pop than the first time. No, they're starting to get over now. As the match went on, the crowd started getting more and more in it. They're starting to realize that The people that don't know who the Motor City Machine Guns are, they're starting to see that these guys can go. They are fantastic wrestlers. There's a reason why they are considered one of the best tag teams to ever do tag team wrestling. Yeah, the Johnny Gargano, Tommaso Ciampa, they're teasing maybe the breakup and they've been doing a lot with a lot of teams lately. Honestly, I don't think DIY is done anytime soon. The tag team division can't afford to lose any too many true tag teams, especially when you got like the. I think you can bet a bit of a feud between DIY and Motor City Machine Guns moving forward.
Yeah,
honestly, this was a good match though. This.
Mm-hmm.
For an 11-minute match, again, WWE likes to do this. And it's one thing that I gripe on them a lot is that they love to throw commercial breaks in the middle of these big matches.
Yeah.
And it hurts the match. It truly does. Yeah. The match was good. It would have been better without that commercial in the middle, honestly. Outside of that, great match. Great match.
So after the match wrapped up, the Bloodline comes down, and Solo comes out and is introducing himself to the Motor City Machine Guns, making lines of, "So you're here to make an impact." Haha, get it? Impact. And introduces himself as their tribal chief. Chris Sabin responds by saying, "Well, nice to meet you, Mr. Chief." And Solo kind of eggs them on here.
I just popped at that for a second time. I laughed when I heard that. Man, that was good.
Solo is testing the waters here and is trying to say, "Come on, you want to go against the boys right now?" Nick Aldis says, "They just got here. I'm not going to have you taking advantage of their number one contendership after they just had a match." He's interrupted by the Motor City Machine Guns, who said, "No, they're game. Let's do it." And we get it. The tag team title match is now the real main event for SmackDown. The Motor City Machine Guns taking on Tonga and Tonga Loa. The match itself starts out pretty good, but we're getting close to the end here. So me and RK are like, okay, what's happening? Jimmy Uso is what's happening. He comes out to help, kind of help Motor City Machine Guns. Really, he does. He takes out.
No, you worded that wrong. They're not there to help anybody. They're there to take out the Bloodline.
And they do. Jimmy and Roman. Roman comes out to help things out. So the referee, of course, we get a referee bump on accident. And this allows Tama Tonga to get some chair shots in. Or sorry, Tonga Loa did the chair shots. Tama Tonga gets some offense in. And then a masked man appears. Who is it? Who could it be? It's Jey Uso. Jey Uso. Monday Night Raw, they cost Jey Uso his IC title, so he is here to cost the Tongans their tag titles. And they do. The Motor City Machine Guns pick up the win, and they're the new WWE World Tag Title, or is it the World? No, SmackDown's WWE. The WWE Tag Team Champions, the Motor City Machine Guns. Not much celebration when we get the graphic. They're the new champs. But we got to move past that, RK. There's something bigger happening. There's a reason.
Celebration. They got more pyro than fucking Roman Reigns gets.
They got a lot of fucking pyro. That was me being sarcastic, people. That shit was. They got to the top of the ramp, and I mean pyro galore. You think they're really putting them over, and they are. They go to the back, and in the middle of the ring is.
You know what they're doing, right? You know what the WWE is doing, right?
What are they doing?
They're going, "Hey, you guys come to WWE, we'll push you."
Ethan Page, Motor City Machine Guns. Who's next?
Roxanne, or not Roxanne, but Julia. Stephanie Vaquer.
Yep. So, by the way, in all the chaos, Solo and Jacob brawled with Roman and Jimmy. They went to the back with their brawl. Match finished up with Jay helping out by taking out the Tongans to allow the Motor City Machine Guns to pick up the win and be the new champions. In the ring is Jay, still by himself, and Jimmy comes down, slides into the ring. There's a moment of hesitation, but the Usos embrace. Back together again, it seems. At the top of the ramp, we see Roman Reigns looking on, and that's how we close SmackDown. And that is all for SmackDown. What did you think of the closing segment there on Friday Night SmackDown?
I mean, if you didn't see it coming, you're blind.
Yeah. Building towards it. We'll get
It
through
was good.
Crown.
It was good. I want to see. I still don't think it's going to be just cut and dry.
Yeah.
Jay is going to forgive Roman. I think it's going to still be a touch and go situation, but they're going to get there. But I don't think like next week on SmackDown, Roman and Jay and Jimmy are just going to be good and it's going to be back to normal. I think Jay is still going to have trust issues.
Yeah. We'll see when we come to Friday's next Friday. And then I think we both agree once Crown Jewel is out the way, it's full speed ahead to building towards Survivor Series. And I think we're getting obviously that War Games match between Bloodline and OG Bloodline. We'll see how we get there. And I'm excited to be on the journey and see where we go. Two more things to get to. I'm not going to dwell too long on TNA for right now, but we have TNA, we have Halloween Havoc to get into. So stay tuned for that. We will be right back with the two pay-per-views that took place this weekend and, of course, close out the show. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll be right back. Guess what, RK? Can you hear me? Can you hear me over there?
Yeah.
I played the wrong music. Sorry, technical difficulties, guys. I played the wrong music. There we go. There we go. All right. Welcome back to Top Rope Renegades. Kurt, that's RK. TNA Bound for Glory. We watched on Saturday. Just off the hop here. RK said it a couple times. I think we do need to watch some TNA, man, because this was a pretty good card.
They put on good all the matches were entertaining.
Yep. Agreed. There was a countdown show, which I did not tune into, or RK, obviously. A couple matches happened, though. Ash by Elegance and Heather by Elegance took on the team of Zaya Brookside and Brindley Reese. Ash by Elegance and Heather Elegance.
If you don't know who Heather by Elegance is, that's actually Heather Reckless. But
okay. We get a video package featuring Abyss, Chris Harris, James Storm, Kurt Angle, Jeff Jarrett.
Everybody knows who Ash by Elegance is, of course, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I hope you do. We get a bunch of video packages of stars from the past. We get an induction, of course. Rhino is put into the TNA Hall of Fame. And he thanked multiple people, including WWE staff, ECW staff, TNA for giving him a home, Triple H, Joe Legend, Edge, Christian, and Heath Slater for giving him support when his brother was diagnosed with cancer in 2017. The Man Beast is inducted into the TNA Hall of Fame. Also inducted was Bob Ryder. I don't know much about Bob Ryder. I assume he was a writer.
Ryder was a longtime backstage worker in TNA
Okay.
and had a lot to do with building up wrestling on the internet. He was basically like the original father of online wrestling news. He also worked in ECW and WCW and helped develop a lot of things that got the company on the map. That being ECW and WCW. Yeah, man.
Big deal. Big deal.
He was the pioneer in online wrestling discussions. He was like the original. He's the original us, like the original Santi Zap, the original Chris Van Vliet, all that kind of shit. This guy was a pioneer in the business in what we're doing right now.
Gotcha. So congratulations to Bob Ryder and the Man Beast Rhino going into the TNA Hall of Fame. The last match on the pre-show was the TNA Call Your Shot match. The winner gets a trophy and can call his shot for a world title whenever. And by the way, this was intergender as well. Male and female could compete. I'll run through real quick of the competitors. AJ Francis, JDC, Jonathan Gresham, Leon Slater, Lee Ying Lee, Tasha Steeles, Rhino showed up in this. Trent Seven, Sammy Callahan, Laredo Kid, Hammerstone, Trey Miguel, back from his injury he had. He made an appearance, as did Zachary Wentz and Frankie Kazarian. And I saved him for last because Frankie Kazarian was your winner of the TNA Call Your Shot match with a low blow on Rhino to pick up the win. Obviously, we didn't watch it. And the Call Your Shot trophy will make its appearance later in the main show. Let us get into it, though. We kick things off with a TNA X Division Championship. Speedball Mike Bailey taking on Hijo del Vikingo. And words for this match. Check out our TikTok if you can. Our reactions are on there from some spots and the finishes of these matches. There was a spot, man. Vikingo and Mike Bailey pulled off a fantastic Canadian Destroyer. Sorry, on the ring apron, and there's that. What's up?
Sorry, I just looked at my NFL news. Not that it matters because they fucking suck anyways, but Christian Kirk is out for the season.
Oh, bad news there. But good news was this match. What did you think of the TNA X Division Championship match? Mike Speedball Bailey, and Vikingo.
Who's I?
Okay, RK.
Okay, kidding. I mean, obviously the title was never really in doubt here. Speedball and Mike Bailey had just won it. Vikingo just came back from injury. There's basically no build to the match, so it'd be kind of weird to do a title flip in that situation. But it doesn't really matter because this match was pretty much damn near perfect. Entertaining, fast-paced, crazy spots. Yeah, man, great match. Great match.
Up next, tough to follow, by the way. I felt bad for these ladies, but it was the TNA Knockouts Tag Team Championship. Spitfire, Danny Luna, and Jody Threat defending against Wendy Chu and Rosemary. Spitfire is going to pick up the win here with a pressure drop on Wendy Chu. After the match, Rosemary hit a spear on Wendy Chu and kissed her on the head. What did you think of the match and post-match angle?
Yeah, it's a tough follow.
Yeah,
tough follow. That's never a good thing for the match after a match like Speedball and Vikingo put on. They did their thing. Honestly, the Rosemary angle makes sense because I mean Wendy Chu is NXT. Rosemary needs a proper partner to go after those titles in TNA.
Yeah.
Spitfire, I like Spitfire, man. They got something.
Mm-hmm.
I like their teamwork. They put on a good match. It just probably a match that could have been left for TV, honestly. But I mean, good for them.
I think it was just like we said, drowned out by following that hell of an opener that Vikingo and Speedball put on. Backstage, Frankie Kazarian gets interviewed where he's reading a book. Wow. Whoa, I'm spacing his name, and I feel like an absolute buffoon. Earl Hebner, good God, Kurt. Reading the book, Earl Hebner's Guide to Refereeing. Frank Kazarian is a special guest referee in the main event.
What was your problem leading into that whole thing?
What
was your problem? You didn't remember Earl Hebner's name?
Yeah, spaced the name for a second there. Anyway, so there is that. Basically, Frankie's saying he's going to keep control of the match, and the winner will be made. Josh Alexander versus Steve Macklin. Two hard-hitting individuals. Josh Alexander is fantastic. Go watch his matches with Will Ospreay if you want to go see how good he is. Fantastic. Good match here. Winner, Josh Alexander via referee stoppage. He had him in an ankle lock. Macklin was zip-tied. We had a good flurry of offense from a zip-tied Macklin in this match, but Josh Alexander overcame. What did you think of this one?
Was this a no DQ match?
I don't think that it was said it was.
All right. How is zip tying your opponent not a DQ?
Didn't hit him with anything.
Okay. Outside of that, I wasn't a huge fan of that angle, being the type of match it was. But the hard hitting, these two fucking whew, they went at it, man. Josh Alexander, legend in the industry, honestly.
Walking weapon.
Legendary Canadian wrestler.
Yep.
Another one. great match. These two, fuck Alexander. I like the heel Alexander. I've seen
Yeah.
both sides of him, and heel Alexander's he's just so good as a heel, man.
Up next is the
Also,
Monster.
if you ever get a chance, go check out Mystery Wrestling on TikTok and YouTube and all that stuff. They get random guys showing up on there. It's like an indie show, but they do like weird gimmick matches, and it's kind of funny a lot of times. They did the Daniel Bryan bag over the head spot, but the guy just ripped a hole in the bag, and that was it. They do the chair shot where they hit the chair, toss the chair, the other guy catches it, but there's one where the guy hits the chair, tosses the other guy, he doesn't catch it, and there's a table in the corner. He's just like, oh fuck it, throws himself through the
Oh, I
table.
saw that. You sent me that, didn't you? That was the one with Ethan
Um,
Page on commentary.
yeah,
Yeah, that was
yeah,
good shit.
and
That was good.
that one, and Josh Alexander, all his power comes from his wrestling gear. If he loses it, he has no power. So, anyways, check it out. It's hilarious. They have some fun shit going on. But anyways, nonetheless, Josh Alexander heel 100% here. Good match, great match. I enjoyed every bit of it. But the zip ties, it's a DQ, in my opinion.
Up next, Monsters Ball match. TNA Digital Media Championship and International Heavyweight Championship on the line. Champion PCO defending against Matt Cardona. RK said this was going to be a fun match, and boy, was it. Just a hardcore match. PCO ends up getting the win with a PCO salt, a nice moonsault from the 56-year-old veteran. He picks up the win over Matt Cardona here. What did you think of this one?
PCO, the Rougeau brothers, the Quebecers in WWF fame. Dude, guy can still go for 56. I'm sorry. That match was fun as hell. Cardona, the death match Ghostbuster, whatever it was on his fucking gear there.
Yeah.
It's just everything about this match was just fun. This is the kind of match that you have in wrestling where you're just like, yeah, I'm just watching this have fun. And that's what it was. It was just a good old time. And man, PCO salt. That's something else, isn't it?
Yeah, 56 years old, nailing that one. Yeah, good match. Up next is a grudge match. I've been building with Moose and Mike Santana. This was a good match. I was impressed by Mike Santana. If you don't know who he is, he was a part of Santana and Ortiz in AEW. They did other stuff with House of Glory and whatnot in TNA.
Outside of like 600,000 viewers, probably don't know who Santana is.
They were part of AEW's, the first grouping of Jericho's group. Anyway,
actually, that one stadium stampede match that they're in is so good.
Mike Santana's going to pick up the win over Moose here with his discus lariat. What did you think of this hard-hitting affair?
Again, fucking Santana's making for a name for himself as a single star. Great match. Honestly, this is what this show was. The women's tag team match had to follow that really fantastic first match. Otherwise, every match on this card has been a banger. This one's no different.
Mm-hmm.
Just so good. Moose, I haven't seen much of Moose, and I'm impressed. Moose, I didn't realize that dude can fucking go. Yeah. I thought you too. I just thought he was just a big old powerhouse motherfucker.
He's athletic too. Yeah.
Fucking great match, man.
Up next was the TNA Knockouts Championship on the line. Jordan Grace defending against Masha Slamovich. Questions were, can they repeat their performance they had at a Bound for Glory from 2022, I think, and they did. But the result was different as Masha Slamovich defeated Jordan Grace with a single hook power. The finish was fantastic. Go watch it if you get the chance, or check out our TikTok, our reaction to the finish of that match. You can go see it. Masha gets the win over Jordan Grace here. What did you think of this title change and the match itself, obviously?
Well, my understanding is Masha has been going after this title for a while and just has always come up short. She finally gets the big win that she's been needing, so good there. Basically, this match is you take two powerhouses, you let them beat the shit out of each other until one can't get up. That's what you got in this match. And it worked really well. And you know what? this isn't a setback for Grayson anyway, because she's going up to the big leagues in very short time here.
Yeah. Yep. Most are saying WWE Bound should be at the Royal Rumble. I'd like to think she will too. Up next, the TNA World Heavyweight Championship on the line with special guest referee Frankie Kazarian. Nick Nemeth, the champion, defending against Joe Hendry. The match, pretty good match, building up. A couple moments where Kazarian was going to cash in his call your shot. He went to cash in it for a second time when JBL appeared, clotheslining Kazarian when he attempted to cash in. Joe Hendry shook JBL's hand, but then JBL hit him with a ripcord lariat or clothesline from hell, whichever you prefer. And then Ryan Nemeth, Nick Nemeth's brother, jumped the barricade, and he got caught with a right hand. All this distraction led to, in the ring, a referee came out, right? Yes, a new referee came out, obviously, because Frankie was knocked out. Finish came with Dolph Ziggler picking up the win over Joe Hendry. Check out that finish on our TikTok as well. I'm just plugging it away, I guess. But what did you think of this match and JBL's involvement?
You know, I don't give a fuck if Hendry was leaving for the WWE next week. This was the wrong call, man. Hendry needed to win the title here. He's been the next big thing for the last year in TNA, and he has not won the title.
Yeah, I read. I thought you were going to have it in your news, and I meant to go back to it if you didn't. Fightful put out a report on his contract situation, and people are saying it ends in January, but reports are saying it goes all the way through 2025.
My understanding it was around September, October next year. Regardless, it doesn't fucking matter. TNA won't pull the trigger on putting the title on him, and it's a mistake because Hendry is over as fuck. And sometimes you just got to give the fans what you want. Go back to Daniel Bryan.
In this
WWE
stage, Bound for Glory is their big pay-per-view of the year. And that would have been a good chance to put it on him. Their next one, by the way, announced was Genesis, which will happen in January. But Bound for Glory is a big deal for TNA. It's their big one. And it felt like they could have done it, but they didn't.
They should have done it. It was a good match. I mean, it wasn't great or anything. It was a good match, but the angle of the special ref, you're never going to get a 5-star match with a special ref.
Yeah.
There's always going to be shenanigans. The JBL spot was nice. Not really sure what JBL is up to here. Not really sure his angle. Some people are saying that Nick Nemeth has to know what's going on and that he was involved with it. But, you know, him knocking out Nemeth's brother makes you question that. But there could be an angle there as well. Yep. JBL he laid waste to everybody except for Nick Nemeth. So it makes you question what's going on there. You jokingly said, you know, he getting ready for his title shot in TNA. I mean, JBL did post recently on his Instagram, you know, working out and going, man, it's so nice to be able to work out and not feel any pain for the first time in years because he recently got stem cell treatment. And so it's interesting. I mean, the dude's still menacing. He's a big motherfucker, always has been. I mean, Bradshaw with the Acolytes, and then obviously JBL, his run there. But it's interesting to see what's going on here. He's been showing up where Nick Nemeth has been around. He was down in AAA with Nick Nemeth there and all that stuff. So something's going on there. I want to see where they go with this. It's interesting, but they still fucked up. Joe Hendry should be the champion right now, period.
I agree. Up next, last match of the night, the TNA tag team titles are on the line in a triple threat, full metal mayhem match with a twist. Jeff Hardy had his hands everywhere. Spray painted the ring, the tables, the ladders, the chairs. Everything was Jeff Hardy-esque in this one. This was a trip of a little bit of nostalgia moments later in the match. We had a wild spear on Chris Bay from Brian Myers. Jeff Hardy doing Jeff Hardy things off of a big ladder through a table, hitting his head on the rungs. I am shamelessly plugging here, but TikTok, if you want to see this craziness, go watch our reactions to it because it was a lot of holy shit moments.
But this guy plugs our TikTok more than he plugs our YouTube.
You're watching on YouTube. Thank you. Subscribe. The Hardy Boys picked up the win here and are the new TNA Tag Team Champions. What did you think of Full Metal Mayhem?
So I was just cross-referencing my notes with my site that I follow, and my site hates this match.
I can see why people would be against
And
it.
I get it. I'm going to read it out here because it's actually a really interesting take on it. It's different than my take on it. He's being critical from a he's being very technical about the match and everything, which makes sense. I agree with what he's saying. But on the flip side, this was a fun match. I thoroughly enjoyed this match. The spots were cool and all that shit. As soon as the Hardys were announced for this match, you know it's a win for them. It was just
Yeah.
simple as that. It's nostalgia. But anyways, this I'll go through. This is I'll get his exact name here because I want to make sure this guy is known because I do follow his stuff. He's one of my favorite guys for recaps. Thomas Hall with 411 Mania. Um, he reviews everything AEW, TNA, WWE almost every week. He barely misses. So this guy's on top of his shit. So this is what he has to say about the match. He gave it a C minus, and he says, as soon as the Hardys were announced for the match, you could tell what was coming. As soon as it was announced as Full Metal Mayhem, you knew it wasn't going to be very good. But then they went nearly half an hour in slow motion, with the whole thing being a Hardys tribute because the Hardys have to win everything. The painted ring, ladders, and tables were little more than an eyesore and didn't help anything. Also, why would TNA allow the challengers to set up the mood of the match or whatever it was? Shouldn't that be the system's deal? Either way, rather weak main event as the Hardys just cannot do this anymore. Naturally, they're the tag team champions and get the big ahem feel good moment to end the show. He's not he's not horribly off bait there. It does sound like he's a little bit of a Hardys hater. Fair. We're fans of who we're fans of, and we don't like the people we don't like. So it's his opinion. I can see where he's coming from, but in the end, it was a nostalgic feeling. I grew up watching the Hardys, and this was exactly what I would expect from them. I enjoyed the
Agreed.
match.
I
I
did too.
thoroughly did.
He was right on one point where he said they really can't go anymore. They can, they can't. They are very slow moving now. But good God, look at how long they've been in the game and how much they put their bodies through and still putting their bodies through. But no, I like the match. It was a nostalgia match for me. The high spots were hit and the Hardys won. So I can't be mad at it. That is that for TNA Bound for Glory. Fun watch, cool watch, and we're gonna definitely have our eyes on TNA moving forward.
It makes me want to watch TNA right now, honestly.
Yeah, TNA Plus. Maybe we can throw that in. Episodes come out every Thursday. Is when TNA puts their episodes out on TNA Plus. I think you can watch it on TV too. Maybe I don't know exactly. But anyway, one final thing to go through. We'll go back to the homepage here for Halloween Havoc. The first match was a NXT North American Championship match in tables, ladders, and scares with a twist. First fall to a finish. The title was not above the ring. Tony D'Angelo defending against Oba Femi. And Tony and the family got their get back, is the way I looked at it. Tony picks up the win here with the help of Stax, Luca, and Adriana Rizzo to put down the ruler Oba Femi here with a one-arm spine buster through a table for the 1, 2, 3. Obviously, I'm glossing over some high spots. But, RK, what did you think of the match?
Well, before we get to the match, let's talk about the fantastic opening video with Gigi Dolan. Absolutely,
Yeah.
I enjoyed the shit out of it. Gigi looked great. I'm glad that she's back doing something in NXT. Hopefully, she's back in the ring sooner than later. The set looked great. Very Halloween themed. Mike Rome dressed as Beetlejuice, perfect,
Yes.
absolute fantastic. I popped right away for that. That was awesome. Yeah, so Kurt likes to gloss over the more finer points of a show, but I like to get into them. So that's that, and then on to the match. This match was exactly what you hoped it to be. Tony and Oba went hard at each other. Throughout the most, and Kurt brought this up, it was all Oba for the first 3/4 of this match. All Oba, man. He was all over Tony. And really, honestly, he should be. Oba's an absolute beast. But in the end, Tony, with the help of his family, got the win. Oba tried to, do the old zip tie and then wreck his whole crew, and then even went after Rizzo, which is not cool, man. But Rizzo, she's a tough girl, and she handled herself in that match, and had the crowbar swing that rocked the world.
Yeah.
Man, what a fantastic opening match! Honestly, man, this was a great match.
Before we get to the next match, we see backstage Alexis King trying to figure out who's going to be in his corner. And of all people, William Regal says he will corner Alexis King in his match against Charlie Dempsey. The names don't match, but if you don't know, now you know. William Regal, Charlie Dempsey. That's William's son. So he knows a bit about Charlie, and he knows a bit about the Heritage Cup matches, and Brian Pillman as well. So what did you think? We think William Regal cornering Alexis King.
Honestly, didn't see that coming. Really?
Either.
Out of left field. It makes sense though. It makes perfect sense, and it's going to be interesting. It's going to create a dynamic of this match that's just going to add something extra to it. Yeah, I just can't wait to see Charlie Dempsey's reaction to finding out that his father is going to be in Lexus's corner for this. This is why WWE is good at what they do, man. They set up these little fucking things that just are they're there, but they should be non-points, but they just add something extra to it.
Up next, Stephanie Vacour and Julia teaming together to take on NXT Women's Champion Roxanne Perez and a return to the ring for Cora Jade. And listen, these four are, as you can see them on the screen, they're some of the best to do it, and they did a fantastic job this match. I loved every second of this match. I thought that the face-offs between Stephanie and Cora, or Stephanie and Roxanne, we got Julia versus Roxanne at the last pay-per-view. And then when Stephanie showed up, it was, okay, now we can't wait to see Stephanie and Roxanne. And from the moment they touched in this match, it was, oh, this is going to be good. RK, I don't know what you think about where we go with the NXT Women's Championship. You hinted at a fatal four-way maybe, or I don't know. But a part of me, bias aside, I love Julia. I think Stephanie has to be next. But we'll see. Before we do all that, we'll talk about that at another time. What did you think of the match itself?
Look, they can do all these tag team matches and all this stuff for only so long. It's only a matter of time before you can't. The title ends up on one of the two of them. It's simple as that. Yes. They'll get there. They have to get there sooner or later, or it become stale, and it just won't matter as much as it should. This was a showcase for Julia Bakur, as all their current matches are. Just to get them familiarized with the American crowd. If they don't know who they are, you should know who they are by this point. They are fantastic. Roxanne, top tier. She is exactly why she's the women's champion right now. She is good. Cora Jade, she hung in there, but she's just not on the same level as the other three. I'm sorry.
Okay. I disagree. I think Cora's fantastic. I first match in the ring in a long time. She had moments of, I was like, well, she's a little rusty, but she did her thing. But I will agree, in this match, she was, if you're ranking them, she would have been fourth. And who stood out the most? Agreed. I would, and this is bias aside, RK, so you can hear me when I say this. Stephanie Vacour was the standout. Roxanne may have been second, and then Julia. But because I don't want, people are overshadowing how good Roxanne Perez is. She's been fantastic.
I don't think anybody's overshadowing how good Roxanne Perez is.
You did at first. And don't try and say you didn't. Leading into the match against Jordan Grace, you were very like, there's no way she can beat Jordan Grace. And I was like, well, hold on now.
Do you not know what I do to you?
You do. Yeah, you're right. But anyway, the match itself, really good. The winners, Vacour and Julia, with a fantastic ending, by the way. The finish of the match was great. Setting up Vacour to pin the NXT Women's Champion. That's why I hinted at maybe Vacour should be next. The lights went out at the end of this match, though, and up in the balconies, Zarya is here. And that is not the last we will see of her. We'll get into that here in a minute. Javon Evans and Cedric Alexander are backstage talking about their tag match against Axiom and Nathan Frazier. Tune in to NXT to catch that.
Oh, that's who David LaGreca is. Okay.
Bubba Ray Dudley and Dave LaGreca are
That dude is a
previewing.
fucking mark.
Oh, he's a mark. They're previewing the events
Busted
of the show.
open. I totally didn't clue in that.
He is
yeah.
the guy. He's the one that created Busted
Yeah.
Open. He is the biggest Cody Rhodes mark of all time. But yeah, his show's pretty good. He's gotten good people to join him on his show, but he's a mark. They're just transitioning into the next match here, which is Ridge Holland, Andre Chase, in an ambulance match. This match was really right off from the hop, a grudge match here. And Ridge Holland is going to pick up the win by throwing him in an ambulance. A couple moments in this match I'm sure RK is going to hit on, but what did you think?
I'm going to hit on a couple moments. What moments are those, Kurt?
You know, when we do this, I kind of introduce it and then I open the floor to you to recap some moments that you liked. And then now you're all of a sudden just going to be a dick and be like, what moments are you talking
seriously,
about?
no, I want to know which moments you were talking about because this match, I was hoping for more and it wasn't that
Yeah.
good. So
thank you for saying
I want to know those moments. I want to know what those moments were because I didn't see them.
Thank you for saying that. Yeah, this match was a dud to me. I'll be honest with you. The moments with the stretcher kind of were like running the stretcher into each other. Meh. Like it didn't look like it did much. The fire hydrant
outside of like the two backdrops onto the concrete floor or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, in the end, Andre Chase should have won here. Just because I like to see this Holland angle. They got to an interesting thing at the end of this show, which I liked with Holland, but they could have just give Chase the win here and let them move on because they're going to drag this out, and I don't think it's going to work. But that's just me.
The gimmick of the ambulance match hurt this. I think you should have just went with something else. Hardcore match would have worked. Something. The ambulance match gimmick, I think, failed it here. But moving along. Axiom and Nathan Frazier were shown training.
It's hard to have certain gimmick matches just don't always hit unless they're make sense. Like a casket match, which we're gonna have apparently coming up pretty shortly. Outside of like the Undertaker being involved in a casket match, okay, sure, I guess. I don't know. Yeah. An ambulance match, there's few that have really hit the mark. I can't really think of one at the top of my head that was just like an absolute banger of a match.
For some reason, Braun Strowman and somebody come to mind.
All I can think is almost positive Stone Cold was in one at some point.
Man.
Nonetheless, I don't know.
Yeah.
They're going to drag out this feud for a little bit longer, and they really probably shouldn't. And weird gimmick matches, either they hit or they don't. This one didn't hit. And honestly, blindfold candlestick matches are probably the worst gimmick match. So,
Axiom, Nathan Frazier shown training ahead of their NXT title defense, where they're kind of going back and forth. Go ahead, cut me off.
No, nothing.
Frazier calls Axiom condescending and asks if we can be more condescending, and Axiom says, "I can." So I don't know if they're splitting or what's going on.
Sorry, that whole interaction was hilarious. I don't think they should split because if they keep having arguments like this, it's great. It's great
hilarious.
TV.
Ava announces that Lola Vice will face Jada Parker in a hardcore match at the NXT Block 2300 of the old ECW arena with Dawn Marie as the special guest referee. Looking forward to that. I think every match on that card should be a hardcore match. Just saying. Up next is the Gauntlet match. Fatal Influence versus Kalani Jordan. Kalani takes on Jasmine Nix first, picks up the win with a 450 splash. Takes on JC Jane second, gets the win with a roll-up. And then in the third match of the Gauntlet, it is Fallon Henley. Fallon gets some help from Fatal Influence and ends up picking up the win with a Shining Wizard, your new NXT Women's North American Champion, Fallon Henley. I did glance through Twitter a little bit. Mind you, we literally watched this right before we recorded. People didn't like this match at all. I don't know about you, RK. I didn't hate it. I'm happy to see Fallon with the title.
The Fallon win the title Yeah, it had to happen. Fatal Influence is bragging about how great they are, and I said it earlier on the NXT show is that they just pile up losses, and at
Yeah.
some point you got to give these people a win, and they got the win finally. Kalani Jordan's well protected in this loss because she wrestled all the way to the very end with the third member of Fatal Influence, so she
And the
ran the gauntlet
distraction. Yeah.
and the distract all that shit. So, well protecting the loss, it doesn't hurt Kalani in any way, but overall, not a good match. Really wasn't.
No, it wasn't. Like I said, I was just happy. I'm happy Fallon's got a title, so that's pretty cool to see. But other than that, yeah, not great. But what happened after? Lights went out again, and Zarya showed up in the ring, and she laid waste to Fatal Influence and stood tall. So Zarya is not going to be in the mix for the women's title. Seems she's going
Which
after
makes
the
sense because then you just throw another fucking woman
Yeah.
that you have to give a title to into the main title,
And this is where WWE's good. They're going to plant the seeds. They're going to have moments where maybe they cross paths, but nothing happens. And then eventually we get to a point where it is Zarya versus Bakor or Julia or Roxanne.
I think how it all works out. I think Julia ends up on the main roster before Stephanie, just because Julia's English is better. Simply on that merit alone, Stephanie's got to work on her English, and it's not a knock at her. She just doesn't speak great English.
Yeah.
You can't be on the main roster and not cut a promo, or you have to like Io and Kyrie. They speak English. I from my understanding, they speak English and they let on in the promos. But that's just all for storytelling purposes. It's just, yeah. Nonetheless, I think Julia ends up on the main roster first. Stephanie Vickers stays down a little bit longer. As Zarya stays down a little bit. They'll work it out. It's gonna work. All three of them are gonna be made to look like stars, guaranteed. They're all gonna come out of this looking like they're top of the fucking pile of superstars. Roxanne's gonna benefit from all this too because now she has some legitimate people to feud with all around. The North American title now becomes more of a talking point because you got someone like Zarya, who's an established name in the wrestling community, coming in and going after it. They're doing this perfectly well. This was a good debut for Zarya. Just make her look like a monster. The only takeaway I can have is do some better camera work on that headbutt because she missed by a mile. But beyond that, the kind of debut you expect from Zarya, the way you've been pitching her in the promos and in the videos and everything, that she's just going to be a beast coming in, and that's what they made her look like. And my lord, that F5, oh
yeah, clean.
Jesus, that's a Brock Lesnar F5 clean.
Fair enough. Tony D'Angelo was interviewed after his match. I don't know why they put after the match. It was later on in the show, but he gives a big shout out to Rizzo with the crowbar shot her around the world. And then Rizzo said she's coming for an attacker this Tuesday, so tune into NXT. Bubba Ray and Dave LaGreca again talking about the tight show, previewing the main event. Rich Holland confronts them, and Bubba kind of tells him that's 2 times you've interrupted now. 2 times. Get into that more. Before we get to the main event, Ava is on stage. Tatum, or sorry, they weren't. God, I hate Fightful.
Vic
Booker,
Joseph.
Yeah, I got it. Vic Joseph and Booker are on the stage talking about what's to come in the Devil's Playground match. Could it finish here? Could it finish here? Ava comes out, and Tatum Paxley comes out of the road case. She's over there. She climbs out, demanding a match against Wendy Chu, obviously, who put her in the road case.
Ava's got to get that woman in medical. She's been locked in that box for like 5 days.
Yes. And she spins the wheel, and it lands on a casket match. Setting up, well, their phrase. Tatum was begging for this match to happen. Ava gives in. We get a casket match on NXT this week between Wendy Chu and Tatum Paxley. Looking forward to it?
Yes, I am looking forward to it.
Me
huge
too.
Tatum Paxley fan. I'm a huge Wendy Chu fan. So
Yes.
I know I just did say that casket match should be left to the Undertaker, but let me preface that or afterface that. What's the opposite of preface? Afterface?
Postface?
Postface? I don't know. Anyways, after the fact of what I said before, Wendy Chu and Tatum Paxley both have a supernatural darkness to them that it works. So
Yep.
My point
main
being is
event.
that it shouldn't be like Julia versus Cora Jade in a classic match. That makes no fucking sense.
Yeah. Main event time, Devil's Playground match, NXT Championship. Translation, anything goes. Falls count anywhere. Do what you got to do to get the win.
Who was in the very first Devil's Playground match again?
Johnny Gargano and Damian Priest.
We got to look up that match somehow.
This match was good. I'm not happy with the winner. Ethan Page, Trick Williams, obviously. Trick Williams, the champion defending. Ethan Page does make him taste his own blood like he said he would. But Trick does end up overpowering and getting into the dark side. Trick Williams picks up the win and is still your NXT champion. Go ahead, RK, before we get post-match stuff, of course. What did you think of the Devil's Playground match? Yeah, I agree with you, man. It wasn't the greatest.
It was a good match.
It wasn't as good as I wanted it to be.
It was a good match. It worked. The ending, I hated every little bit of that ending. It seemed sudden.
The finish.
The finish, yeah. Fuck. Then in the finish, the ending is not what you're thinking of. That's the aftermath of the match. But anyways, nonetheless, the finish, how the suddenness of it, it didn't really seem like that should have been the finish. Yeah. And honestly, Ego should have won. But they're Trick's their golden boy right now, so
yeah,
we're not always going to be happy with the results, and we'll have our own opinions on it. Just like, Ego should be the champion right now. But I know what they're doing. This feud has run its course, and I think they should finish it, and they should move on to a new feud. Hopefully, they don't continue this on too long. But with what happens afterwards, you're like, well, fuck, they're gonna do, they're gonna do something.
So afterwards,
Trick just needs somebody else to go up against now, and Ego needs to go take care of CM Punk on the main roster. So,
post match, Trick is celebrating, but he doesn't have much time as Ridge Holland attacks him from behind. Ethan Page kind of gets in Ridge's face, but then they team up and they start beating down Trick. But who comes to make the save? None other than Bubba Ray Dudley. Slides in to make the save. Trick Williams and Bubba Ray stand tall to end the broadcast with Ethan Page and Ridge Holland on the outside cursing him out. I think we both assume that with the NXT match coming, the NXT show coming in the old ECW Stomping Ground, that Bubba's involved. And a tag match, maybe, or it's Bubba versus Ridge. A tag match makes more sense. I don't know. What do you think of the post match? Where do you think we go from here?
I mean, did you have on your 2024 wrestling bingo card Ridge Holland and Bubba Ray going at it?
I did not.
Yeah, no, it's nostalgia. They're obviously 100% setting up Bubba Ray for that ECW arena match. Showcase something. They're setting it up. Ridge Holland inserting himself into the main title picture. That's interesting. I like it.
Agreed.
There's that thing where you could get that new opponent for Trick. That could be a real challenge. Not that Ego's not, but I mean, Ridge is on a dominating track right now. So I mean, you know what I mean? And but they've done it so much. But I mean, I don't think Ego's done with the title run yet, but I just don't think it should be against Trick. So I don't know. We'll see where it goes. I just still think Ego should be champion. Period.
Agree with you on that one. That wraps up this week in wrestling from the Top Rope Renegades. But before we go, a lot to choose from this week, RK. Your show of the week.
Honestly, just because of how much it impressed me, I got to go TNA Bound for Glory.
I am with you on that one. I was going to say the same thing. That is my show of the week. Just mainly, literally what you said took the words out of my mouth. I was very impressed from what they delivered. Wrestler of the week. Who do you got?
That's a tough one.
A lot to choose from.
Really, probably should. We do this every week, and I should probably think about that before we do the show. Now I'm thinking of it on the fly. Fuck, that's tough, man.
I'm going with Viking.
Give me yours.
I'm going with Viking.
You are, yeah.
just from that match, man, that had me on. I popped a lot, and the moves that man pulls off in the ring is just crazy. But I'm going Viking.
No, 100%. Honestly, I love what they're doing with him right now, and the win and everything, and then in certain, I'm gonna say Ridge Holland actually.
Okay, I like that pick. I do like that pick. That wraps up this week in wrestling, episode number 27. Thank you so much for tuning in and all the subscribers that have been subscribing. We're getting more and more. Seems we get a couple more every week, so we appreciate you guys so much.
Keep it up. We love it. And remember, you will get
I'll sign
a
it.
signed 8x10 original Top Rope Renegades Kurt
Mint. It is
Rhodes
mint.
picture.
It is mint. I promise you, I will sign it for the first. Once we get to 100, all 100 of you, you can have that picture. With that being said, thanks so much for tuning in.
That means I get one. Nice.
Check out the TikTok. I will link it in the description. That's all for me. We'll see you next
More to
time.
come. More to come.
Yep.
We're expanding. We're gonna start doing more stuff, but
Yes, sir.
coming soon. Check us out on Twitter. Check us out on Facebook. All that stuff will coming soon.
Yep. Thank you so much for tuning in. We will talk to you guys next week on the Top Rope Renegades YouTube and TikTok.